We're all plugged in and ready to go.
Let's go. Ready to rock right here. We are live from Hialeah Park. We got a loaded program for you. We're coming to you live from the Champions Simulcast Center, and this will be the site on Sunday. We've already got several people here, but it's going to be crazy on Sunday because, of course, it's the Handicappers Challenge. It's the qualifier for the National Horse Players Championship, and that'll be on Sunday.
Frank was telling me major handicappers from around the country are flying in for this tomorrow.
Of course. They got a shot to get a seat in Vegas.
Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, like the 5,000 for them is like just icing on the cake if they win first place. It's that seat in the NHC. That's what they want, dude.
It's the same idea as
you can't buy that seat.
Steve has been saying, the Texas Hold'em poker tournaments and the $1 million. This is the bridge to get me where I want to go.
Right, exactly. That's what it's all about. Anyway, so we're out here. We'll be plunging our guts like we're doing now every Friday out here at Hialeah Park. You guys should come on out here and join us on Fridays, 1 to 4, and especially those of you that know a little something about, the horsies.
Help a guy out.
Help guys out here. Help both of us out here a little bit. So, yeah, we need all the help that we can get. So if it is possible, you want to come on out here and join us, you'll have. I guarantee you're going to have fun. All right, because you got great food, great atmosphere out here. They were just going nuts right now for the last race. So we'll have a little fun with that. Yeah, every once in a while, you'll hear the crowd go crazy and everybody, and that's because the race is on. We're about a minute from post time at Gulfstream now for the second race. So we'll find out. We've got Laurel Park right now. We've got Aqueduct, and we've got Tampa Bay Downs. Those are the ones we're watching right here in front of us right now. Anyway, so we got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of people to talk to. We'll talk some Heat basketball at 1:30 with Andre Fernandez from The Athletic. At 2 o'clock, Calvin Watkins is going to join us from the Dallas Morning News, my buddy who covers the Cowboys. Since the Cowboys made some news, what's it called? You worried or something?
I'm just saying thank you for informing me while we're on the air that we're getting Andre Fernandez.
Well, that's because you don't check your you don't check your text. That's why. It's been there on your phone.
You know, I've been scrambling to get this all set up.
You got to check your phone, bro. Calvin Watkins is at 2, and then Will Carroll, the injury expert, always joins us at 2:30. We'll go over some of the important injuries like the Thielen one for the playoffs. Steve Calabro, the manager here at Hialeah Park, is going to join us. We're going to make our picks, our NFL picks, and our parlays, okay, which right now, so far since we've been doing this, the suggestion is don't even bother following our parlays. I mean, because one of us will screw it up one way or another. But anyway, and then, of course, we're going to have our Dolphin president. That will be, my friends, at 3:30. Ryan Keeling from the Valley Fanatics in Virginia, a man that has not shaven his beard and will not shave until the Dolphins win a Super Bowl. Let's hope that happens quickly. Pretty soon he'll be tripping up on his own beard, which that would be absolutely crazy. Hey, you should check out the article. It discusses the decline in college football attendance over the past 5 years. Main reason is the lack of competitive games. Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's kind of where we're at. There are the haves and the have-nots. And it's hard to create an even level playing field in college. It just is. Mississippi Valley State is never, ever going to see the light of day to be where Alabama is. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Oregon State is never going to get to where Alabama's at. So, yeah, I can see where some of that would be, a problem. And listen, I think NFL attendance is down because the league has also gotten very mediocre. It's mediocre football that you watch week in and week out in the NFL.
Really, there's only a few good teams. After that, it's a lot of average or bad football that's being played.
Yeah, but isn't that what they want? Oh, they want
They
wanted
parity, but
right.
They have achieved mediocrity. That's the problem.
So they went a little too far.
Exactly.
What do you think's the situation with college football? I mean, obviously, the smaller schools, and we remember Ben Roethlisberger, and obviously Carson.
What's Ben's name again?
Ben Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger.
The motorcycle maniac.
Eric, what? What's the head coach's name for the Heat? Eric what?
Eric Spoelstra.
Oh, you got that one. Okay.
All right. Oh, you know what? You want to do that? Sally Saw 6 Cubs Singing Saturday? Listen, the fact that you don't have to be at the big school anymore to get known. All you got to do is just get on the field and play. Has that kind of hurt college football? That, kids are going to Marshall and Miami of Ohio and wherever they can get on the field their freshman year.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if that's hurt college football. Obviously, it's helped the player.
You don't have the depth you used to, obviously, at the bigger schools because they're not going to sit and wait till their junior year.
But then you would create even more of an unlevel playing field by that. Because then if Nebraska is going to be 6 deep again, and Oklahoma and all those schools like back in the day,
smearing it, kind of like spreading the butter on the bread.
It helped you create a little more parity in college football. But it's still not to the point that it's interesting enough for Joe Public.
Every year, the top 3 or 4 they are like so light years from the rest of the pack.
Yeah. It's weird.
This year we were lucky to have 4. If Alabama doesn't have 2, will go down. There was 4 real powers, obviously.
And think about where we're at right now. Okay, we're at a casino, and obviously a horse track where you can also wager on tracks all across the country. And what I mean is betting. Imagine if you took betting out of football.
Wow.
You know how much that would kill it?
That's a hell of a thought.
That would shatter football. Okay?
What would you lose? 40, 50?
Yeah, easy.
40, 50% interest.
Yes, especially college.
Yeah.
Especially college. The NFL, you might get more fans. But for college, I would say a lot of gamblers because, not to pick on Utah State or Akron or Liberty or FIU or my point is
Savannah State.
Yeah, people across the country are never watching those games, ever. But a lot of those people across the country are betting those games. That's the difference right there. They're actually betting those games.
Oh, those guys that are college, like they have all those little schools down to a science.
Right. You'll never watch Austin Peay football, but man, if they're playing against Arkansas Pine Bluff and you think the spread is a little out of control, you'll certainly bet it. That's the way it is. And I can believe where, the ratings are down. I can believe where attendance is down. Can you imagine if you took the gambling out of it? It would shatter it. Gamblers are the ones that are carrying sports a lot of times. Listen, everybody's going to watch Alabama LSU. You don't even need a bet for that one. But then there's a whole ton of other games that, man, they wouldn't have any interest if there wasn't a line on it. That's just the facts. And look, I'm a huge sports fan. I'm not the guy, like my dad, rest in peace. My dad was the guy that could not watch a sporting event if he didn't have $1 on it. I would tell him, hey, you want to watch? No, I'm not. I didn't bet it. Seriously, that's how my dad was. And so that, to me, that's what carries a lot of sports is the gamblers. They're the ones that, like right now, who's carrying horse racing. Obviously, it's a gambling sport. If it's not, nobody's watching it. They're not watching it for fun.
You think about how far we've come in the last 8 years, where Vegas didn't want anything to do with any of the sports. There was
No, you mean the sports didn't want anything to do with Vegas.
Vegas, right? Like, gambling, like it was like keep it
taboo.
Separate. Now
the relationship,
kind of embracing it a little bit.
You better. It's and pun intended. You better. You got to do that, man, because it's part of your existence. It's the reason why. It doesn't need to cross over, none of that, but it's definitely something that it's not just gambling. Fantasy sports also, which is another form of gambling. However you want to phrase it, but it's still a form of gambling. But it's a fun way of gambling. But it's also a fun way of you being interested in the team or in the sport, because you wouldn't care about the Atlanta running back normally if you're a Dolphins fan. But you happen to have him on your fantasy team, so now you're going to watch that Falcons game just to see what that Atlanta running back does. So that a lot of interest in sports nowadays, it's not driven by the hardcore fan that is watching purely out of the love of the game. They're watching out of the love of the game they're playing at the moment, whether it's fantasy or that they've laid some money on it. And let me tell you something. Let me add a caveat to what's also helped sports. We're talking about technology, because now on your phone you can watch that Austin Peay game anywhere in the country, whereas 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, you had no shot at watching Bowling Green playing Akron in football. But now you can go on to a satellite, you can go on your phone, you can find that game because you have an interest in it, because you've made a sports investment in it. So don't kid yourself. The gamblers, man, they carry sports. They carry it. That's why they're starting to get smart around the country now, and we're starting to see sports gambling being approved all over the country and in different states. And eventually it'll get here. Why? Because, one, we've come to the realization that the players make so much money, you're not going to buy them anymore, okay? So the days of the Black Sox and all that stuff that happened back in the day, those days are done. Okay, that's just not going to be the case. So that, to me, that's where I would tell you that, that's what's changed here a lot. So when you tell me, hey, ratings might be down and attendance and all that, tell you take the gambling out of it, some of these sports would die. And some of the other sports would, like football won't die, but it would suffer a major setback. And let me tell you, like I just said, it's the teams on the periphery that would suffer the most. You know what I'm saying? It's the Milwaukee Brewers will have less interest in them. The Yankees will have the interest. They'll always have it. Brewers won't. Alabama football will always have their interest. FIU won't have any across the country. North Carolina A&T won't have any across the country. Bowling Green, whatever. Oregon State, they won't have any interest across the country. If it's not for gamblers, those are the people that probably keep all of those games alive and why people are watching them. Look, I'll be in Vegas in a couple months. When you go there for whether it's college basketball season, football season, baseball season, you name it, you're going to see people glued to tubes and watching all kinds of games that you wouldn't be watching as a sports fan. But as a sports investor, that's a whole different ballgame.
They say in Vegas the biggest day and time is when the tournament starts up.
Oh,
the
for
NCAA.
Sure.
It is a madhouse. It is their busiest time by far, hands down.
Yep. And that's what people in our government are now realizing. Okay, wait a minute. We can tax the hell out of weed, and it's not nearly as bad as alcohol. Let's do it. We can tax the hell out of gambling. I mean, it's still going on. It's going to go on either way. Let's make money off of it. That's what they're saying. People have been gambling illegally forever, so why not tax it? That's it.
Facts. Biggest industries, okay, gambling, drugs, consumption, porn. Huge. Those three in our country.
There you go. And Bill, straight porn. All right, 786-322-1105 is the accidentlawfirm.com text line. If you want to get in or give Bill any great porn sites, you can do it at 786-322-1105. So, Frankie, what we have a guest here? Who do we have? John Hernandez. Is John Hernandez ready to plunge his guts out? Pop up John's mic there. John, you ready to plunge your guts out?
Yeah, you bet. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to Sunday for the big tournament.
Are you ready for the National Horse Players Championship? Look at this.
It's going to be a great event here
Look
at
at this.
Champions.
Bill just-
And, you know, that's beautiful.
There you go, huh?
There is no
You are
more
spoiled.
exciting simulcast venue in all of horse racing than Champions. I mean, you just heard it a couple of minutes ago.
Oh,
These
yeah.
guys get so excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to simulcast centers around the country, California, New York, Florida, my home state of Iowa. There's nothing like Champions in terms of excitement.
Well, I can say this. You can't, but us Hispanic people, we're loud as hell, man. So
Well, I'm one of you. I'm just the other kind of Hispanic. I'm the Mexican Hispanic from
there you go.
California.
There you go. There you go. So we got some passion that we bring behind it, and the boys are they definitely will let you have it, and that's the part I love about this. Hanging out on this side. Over there, it's calm and cool at the poker room. When a table gets hot, then you'll start to hear some people rumbling and all that. But I love it here because the real passion is going on for those 90 seconds.
Yeah, you would think that they've got their life
Yes.
savings on every single race.
You know, for the folks, I'm glad that we got you here, John, because for the folks that want to take part in the National Horse Players Championship, and we've been talking about it here on the show for the last couple of weeks. People have seen it online. They've seen it all over the place. They're trying to inquire what it is. As a pro, walk them through what it is and why they have a shot at $5,000 in the top prize, $10,000 overall on Sunday.
Yes, so this is a qualifying tournament for the National Horse Players Championship that takes place every year in Las Vegas. There's one coming up in February. There'll be another one the next February. So people who play in the qualifier here at Hialeah Park, if they win it, they also earn a seat at the national event out in Las Vegas, and we're talking like $1 million in prize money for that thing. And so the idea is to do well here, earn a spot in the championship, get your $5,000 out of the $10,000 in prize money, then go on to Las Vegas and compete. You'll get room and board paid for. It's a great time out in Las Vegas, and you'll be against the big guns, and we're talking big, big money to win that one out in Las Vegas.
How much money is it out there in Vegas?
Well, somewhere near $1 million total.
Oh, that's
in
all?
prize money. Yeah, I mean that's
all.
it. You know, I mean, you know,
That'll keep me in Vegas at least another 2 days.
you know what they say? They call these life-changing experiences. That could be one for somebody who goes out to Las Vegas and wins that. But start here at Hialeah Park, play here on Sunday. We've got 3 tracks that are going to be designated for competition: Gulfstream, Tampa Bay, Aqueduct up in New York. And so there are plenty of wagering opportunities. Idea is to parlay a $200 bankroll into the biggest total figure. So you've got to win some races. You've got to hit some bets. Probably not a good idea to be playing 3 to 5, 4 to 5, even 2 to 1 horses. You're looking at guys who feel out 8 and 10 to 1 horses, and those are the horses they play on a regular basis in these contests. And if they get 1 or 2, boy, that sets them on the way. Now they've got money to play with, and they really up the bankroll from there.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And is there a way for people to find out already about these races ahead of time so they can?
Yes, past
prepared?
performances for those tracks are all available now, so you can find those at Equibase, Daily Racing Form. We'll have programs here at Hialeah Park, but it's $300 entry fee, and you can sign up at hialeahpark.com. The entries are still being taken. Fill out the entry, pay your fee, or pay it here on the grounds at Hialeah Park on Sunday. But $300 for members of the National Horse Players Championship Tour, $325 if you want to get your membership, which you need to have if you want to go to Las Vegas.
Right, and by the way, first place is $5,000, second place $2,500, third place $1,500, fourth place $1,000, plus the winner gets a seat in the NHC in Las Vegas, February 7th through the 9th. this year, 2020, or if you already have plans, you can actually push it back to 2021. So it gives you that flexibility. Hotel and airfare is also included, but we will not include any trips with Lamar Odom to any bunny ranch. Okay, that you're on your own if you want to go with Lamar Odom to a bunny ranch. Have you been with Lamar Odom?
I have not been to a bunny ranch with Lamar.
No. Okay.
No,
But you have been a bunny ranch.
No.
No. Oh, okay. All right. I just want. I don't know because you just mentioned Lamar. I just want to make sure. No.
No, I have not.
No. Okay. All right. I can't bet on that either.
You can't bet on that either.
All right. I tried. All right. So, John, tell me a little bit about yourself, man. How long you been doing this?
Well, I am a lifelong Californian who now lives in the state of Iowa, and I've been around.
Wait a minute. That's not the way it's supposed to be.
Well, no.
You're supposed to be living in Iowa, moving to California.
That's what happens when my parents get old and die, and my wife is from Iowa.
Ah.
You go where the wife is from. So we're in Iowa. I work at Prairie Meadows Racetrack in Des Moines, Iowa, during the regular season there, which is
watch the camera. With
about
okay.
I'd say 5 months.
Okay.
May, June, July, August, September, and then I do whatever comes my way. And one of the things that's come my way is to play in the NHC qualifier here at Hialeah Park and visit with my good friend Frank Fiore.
Nice.
And get another glimpse of champions. I was here for one entire quarter horse season back in the day, and then also came here many times representing the American Quarter Horse Association. So fond memories here at Hialeah Park. Enjoyed my time here. Enjoyed being on television for the quarter horse races. I do that up in Iowa for the thoroughbred and quarter horse races in Iowa, and just get around the country here and there at sports and horse racing events during the off season in Iowa.
All right, so John, what do you think about this weekend? First of all, San Francisco -7 against Minnesota. Over and under is 44.5.
Oh boy, I'm probably going to ride with the Vikings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even without Thielen.
Yeah.
Are you worried about that?
No.
Okay. So you're taking the points +7.
Yes.
All right. Baltimore -9.5. Over and under 47 against Tennessee.
Boy, I'm going to give the points. I'm going to take Baltimore.
Right?
Yep.
What are you counting on? Tannehill to choke and give the ball away?
Yes, exactly. I'm counting on the Tannehill of old.
Okay. Right. There you go. Kansas City -9.5. Over and under is 51 between Kansas City and Houston.
All right. I hate the Chiefs, so I'll put my money on Houston.
So you're going to take
even if I think Kansas City's going to win, I'm not going to ever bet a penny on them.
I actually love Houston in this bet.
Okay.
Love it.
Then
because,
we're on the same page.
Because my boy, I'm forgetting now what's the quarterback's name?
Watson.
That kid is money.
Okay.
He's money. He's clutch.
I hope you're right.
I don't think Houston gets beat by 10 points. That's the thing. It's either he wins the game or they lose a tight game.
Okay.
Because that kid is clutch.
I'm with you.
And then Green Bay is favored by 4.5 against Seattle. Where are you going there?
Green Bay.
Green Bay?
Yes.
All right. I like it. All right. Good stuff. All right, John. Thank you for coming by. I will see you on Sunday.
Yeah.
But on Sunday, you're not going to really share any information with me, right?
Well, after the fact, yes. After the fact, yes.
After. Okay.
You know how horse players are.
Right,
we always have the winner after the fact.
Right,
we don't
right.
talk about it when we don't.
Oh, okay. All right. I got. How many times have you been to this championship, to this competition?
Well, this will actually be the first one that I've competed in, and I've witnessed quite a number of them.
Okay.
Haven't been to the Nationals yet, and looking forward to that possibility.
Okay, so the only way is you got to win a seat in order to get into the Nationals.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
I mean, you could go and watch, but what fun would that
No,
be?
I know,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah. That would be my life, just watching. But the good thing is we're not losing any money, right?
Well, that's true.
Right, and not having any fun either along the way, because that's what we do here every Friday. We have some fun. You got any tips for me, by the way, this afternoon? Have you seen anything on Aqueduct or at Tampa Bay Downs or Laurel Park?
Well, I haven't.
Gulfstream.
I'm just starting to get into the Gulfstream mode now.
Okay.
My good friend Peter
I'm
Aiello
here to-
is the
I'm
caller
here-
over there.
I'm
so
here
I'll see
for
what I
another
can come up
2.5 hours.
Okay. I'll
So you
come
got
up with
any?
something.
You got any tips for me? I need some.
Okay.
All right.
I'll come up with one at least.
Okay. All right, John. Nice to meet you. Thank you
to
for
meet
taking
you.
some time. Good
Yep.
luck on Sunday.
Okay. Thank you.
You got it. Good stuff there. John Hernandez, as always, appreciate it. Thank you, Frank. As always, we are out here at Hialeah Park, baby. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. When we come back, Andre Fernandez from The Athletic will join us right here on the Big O Show.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, welcome back. Coming to you live, baby, from Hialeah Park. We'll be out here till 4 o'clock. We got a loaded show for you. Andre Fernandez is going to join us now. Bill will get him on in a second here. We'll talk a little Heat basketball. Heat getting ready for the Nets, the second toughest game in this road trip. And they got a big win 2 nights ago with the Pacers. So we'll see what they do tonight against the Nets. Got an opportunity to go 2 games above 500 on the road and start to improve that record, something that Spo has been wanting, and he got a little bit of what he wanted in the last game. So we'll talk to Andre Fernandez here, and we'll have a little fun with him as he covers the Heat for The Athletic. So we'll get into a little Heat talk now. If you want to follow, by the way, if you want to follow Andre Fernandez on Twitter, it's really easy. You know how you do it? It's Fernandez Andre C. You can catch his work at the Athletic MIA or Athletic MBA too. And, of course, follow him on Twitter there, as always, and kind enough to join us now on the program. Andre, how you doing, my brother? What'd you have for lunch?
I decided to get away from the junk food for at least one meal. You know, found a little salad place over here. I know it's not very New York, but there's going to be plenty this weekend in Brooklyn for me. You know, maybe I have to go grab a pizza as usual. I have to get something a lot more, you know, New York City, Manhattan-ish.
Well, wait a minute, dude. Okay, I got to tell you. You know Juniors?
Okay.
You know the restaurant Juniors?
I haven't been there.
Okay, it's orange and white. It's like an institution. All right, we had one here in Boca, but they closed it down. But the originals are up there in New York. The one in Brooklyn, right by the Barclays Center. I got to ask you first. Their food is awesome, but do you like cornbread?
Yeah.
The greatest.
I would.
The greatest cornbread you've ever had in your life is there at Junior's. Okay.
You probably picked my dinner spot after tonight's game if they're still open.
Oh no! Yeah. Oh, dude, Junior's is open. I think it's 24 hours actually.
Oh, okay. Then,
yeah.
We're good.
It's a late night. It's a great place to go late night and everything and all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, they make great food, meatloaf, whatever you want. They're great food. But dude, the cornbread there, and that's the only one that has the cornbread. You go to the other Juniors and they don't have it. I was so pissed.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude, because I went to the other one in the city in Manhattan, but close to Manhattan, and I ordered my food, and then I said, I want cornbread, and they go, oh, we don't have that. The Brooklyn one is the only one that has it. And I was like, no, you got to be kidding me. And I actually took the subway to Brooklyn while I was there that week just to go eat at Junior's again for that cornbread, bro. I'm telling you.
Gotta check it out, man. Appreciate the recommend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's like one of those great American diners, Junior's. So,
sounds like it.
Yeah. You're gonna love it. It's a killer place. Yep. Cool. I thought it was big in this sense the other night against the Pacers. You know, when the coach challenges you, you could maybe, not take on the challenge, not respond. This team was 9-9 going into that game, and they responded in a big-time way. And I thought that was personally a good moment for Spo because, yeah, he had coached a lot of these guys, but he also has a lot of new guys, young guys, and different guys there. And so you never know how that mix is going to turn out. And I think it shows that Spo has a good connection with these guys, that he can push their buttons.
Yeah, it shows he's got the pulse of the team right now very well in those terms. And like I said, there's a lot of new pieces this year. And I think it's just something he's going to have to continually, keep his hand on that pulse throughout the rest of the season, because we know it's only going to get tougher. There are only going to be more challenges, night in and night out, whether it's on the road or at home. Things are going to get dicier when we get into the nitty-gritty in March and later in April, when this team is, looking like it's going to be battling for one of those top spots in the East. And these guys are going to be tested in many cases for the first time in their careers. And he, he's going to have to really be aware of that, especially in a game where, you're coming off a loss. We know they have responded really well this year coming off losses. They haven't lost back-to-back games as far as they've ever been into a season without a losing streak. And that's amazing considering the youth on this team right now. I mean, this deep into the season, we're now getting to the halfway point, and this team's been really resilient. And, even at some point, everybody's saying, oh, yeah, maybe they'll hit a rough patch. They have played some teams shorthanded like the other night. But credit to the way they've been able to take care of business for the most part. And yeah, they have to, that's something that's going to be really important for this coaching staff to continue to have a good grip on.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, the other day, the whole incident with TJ and with Jimmy, I didn't hear a lot of people talk about this. I don't think it was such a good moment for Jimmy. I think he got baited, bro. He got baited. He got lucky that TJ then followed after, but TJ was succeeding. He got him frustrated, and he got him to put the shoulder into him, which then became a turnover and a tech. So you would have gotten the shot and the ball. And if you just stay that way, you were already in his head. And I got to say something, after, with the kisses and all that, that kind of masked what really happened in that moment. And I think it's something that maybe Spo has to have a conversation with Jimmy down the line, like, hey, I get that this ended up working out for us at this moment, but you kind of failed in this moment, and you let him get the best of you. You let him get in your head. You can say whatever you want, but he got in your head, and he forced you to turn over the ball and the tech. I think that's really what I would be more concerned about than anything else, instead of just riding the fluff part of it with the kisses and the ejection.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the scene is always something that's going to attract a lot of attention. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be interesting down the road if teams, other players, especially other players that aren't afraid to pinch other guys, like that, and really try to incite that sort of a reaction. I mean, we know guys in the NBA, there's a lot of them that like to talk on Twitter, that like to then carry that a little bit onto the court. Those are one-on-one battles that we don't hear because we don't hear what's being said on those little battles on the court. But it does tend to happen, and that's something where he's going to have to balance that. He's going to have to balance those emotions. He's going to have to, because right now, we're still early in the season, but in a playoff game, you don't want to. Even then. He was fortunate. You don't want to have a referee decide to eject him there, especially, when you get later in the year in a playoff game, something like that. That's a crippling loss to a team like this at that point. Say he were to get suspended or something like that, if it were to escalate more. So it's definitely something interesting to continue to follow, and as the season goes on with him, how he keeps that in balance.
Andre, I don't know if you wrote about it. If you did, I apologize if I missed it. Do we know finally what the hell TJ Warren said to him that he was all mad about, that men shouldn't say, or whatever it was, however he phrased it? Because apparently TJ Warren said something really nasty to him. Do we know what it was?
I mean, the Warren yesterday at practice with the Pacers, all he pretty much said was he claims he doesn't even really remember what started it. He acted kind of like, I was moving on from this, but that he wouldn't back down, and he never backs down in a case like that. So nothing specific other than what we obviously saw and red lips and saw what was obvious on camera the other day and what emerged on social media. But I mean again, I think it's kind of interesting to see where this goes next, because you've got Jimmy Butler circling the next game in March on the calendar and saying stuff like that. Today in practice, he was asked if he had heard from the league office about a fine, and he didn't even want to go into that. He kind of just said, I'm moving forward, the incidents in the past and whatnot. I don't know, is it? I mean, if they play again, obviously that's going to be interesting to see, and then if TJ Warren is right on him, tense things happen when those battles.
Yeah, and don't tell me it's in the past when you've already circled the future.
Right. Exactly.
That don't fly, dude. Don't tell me it's in the past when it's on your mind. Don't tell me that he didn't get in your head, because he did get in your head. He got you frustrated. Right. You know what I mean? So that to me, I just wonder if Spo is looking at it like that, because that's what I saw above all the fluff crap that went on after that. Yeah, all that stuff is fun, and it's great for entertainment purposes. But on the other side, I thought, this is something that, he better check himself, because you just mentioned it. Somebody down the line sees that and says, hey, I can get in Jimmy's head, and I can mess with him a little bit, and maybe if I get him out, I really weaken that team.
How many times do we see those players all the time, man? Like Joel Embiid is always trying to pinch a guy, saying stuff on Twitter or even on the court, and remember the back and forth with him and Hassan. The list goes on and on. You have examples of that where guys, everyone in the league watches everybody, and everybody sees the tendencies, and everyone's going to try and use something to their advantage. So
Andre Fernandez, by the way, joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at Fernandez Andre C, covering the Miami Heat for The Athletic. Make sure you you follow his coverage also at The Athletic MIA. Andre, the other thing that I saw in this game, and it's not about the game, but just the people in it and the atmosphere and the team play. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, so Olynyk's not playing much now because this guy's short in the rotation, but he's not pointing fingers, not bitching, not complaining. Winslow comes back from an injury. You would think, okay, well, I was a major player on the team. Well, now he's not. Now he's going to have 12 to 15 minutes. That's what coach says. They'll probably keep it in that area, not complaining, not pointing fingers, not doing any of that. You name it. I could go on and give examples of all the different guys that have just, bought into what's going on, their team. They make the extra pass for each other. And here's Dion Waiters. And Dion Waiters, all he's done is bitch, complain, get suspended. And you think about what if, because as potent as that bench is, now, especially when Goran's healthy and going, that's one of the better benches in the NBA. If this guy wasn't such a moron and he would buy into all of this and have the same attitude that everybody has on this team, whether they're playing or they're not playing, or they're playing part-time or whatever it is. It really is amazing that he doesn't get it, Andre. And that's the weird part, that it's just so strange that everybody else on the team gets it and is a part of it and embraces it and supports each other, and there's the one dude that's dragging ass.
Yeah, it's very interesting to observe. I mean, I started covering the team again the last month or so, so that's the only time I've been really able to get really up close to watch these guys, in practice and in games, in the locker room and all that. And it's like he's a ghost. I mean, he interacts with guys. Guys, it's not, he's over there in the corner, he doesn't talk to any of his teammates. He's involved in practice, but in the important sense, you wonder, is there ever going to be some move back toward where he is a part of something that impacts the team, tangibly, like in a game, whether it's playing something. And so far we've seen, he still hasn't obviously gotten into a game, but like you said, I mean, if there was a limited sort of contribution or something where there's a happy in between where he could come in. I mean, he does have enough of a skill set to maybe, chip in some way, like you're talking about. But they're at that point, and good question. I don't know how that gets.
I think it's
in the
fascinating.
Immediate, the short term.
Yeah, but I find it fascinating because there are countless examples already through the first half of the season of guys that have been up and down, injured, healthy, playing, not playing, gaining more playing time, less playing time. Yeah. Nobody bitches, nobody complains, nobody points fingers. This is probably the most selfless team I have seen for the Miami Heat in a long, long, long time.
Kelly was a good example right there, because the last few, it's been a while now, I think last maybe 10 games or so, he really has not played much. And even the other night, I mean, Spo said it was the whole matchup against Portland, but still, some games it'll fit, some games it won't. But he was always someone that would at least come in, play you 20, 25 minutes, let's say, in different spots. But he's been kind of, put on the back burner. We know how James Johnson, till the other day, hadn't even played in over a month. I mean,
but he doesn't complain.
It's interesting.
But he doesn't complain. He doesn't point fingers.
Right. No, and look what he did. He comes in. Right. He comes in and impacts the game. Hits threes. Distributes the ball. I mean, again, it just shows you that it's remarkable through half a season almost where we're at, how the role playing has really fit in and really worked well.
That's a guy that got suspended too, not just lost play. This guy he could have been pissed or whatever, and he got suspended.
Right.
Hell, I heard him the other day in an interview say, this franchise gives you everything you need in order to succeed as a player. And I'm like.
Right.
Here's a dude who loses playing time, gets suspended, all of that. But he's probably smart enough to know dude, I'm getting paid really, really well. These people have taken care of me. You know, let me do my part. You know, it's like, I hate to say it in Spanish. I hate to say it in Spanish, but James Johnson es un tipo decente, and, you know, Dion Waiters es un mojón. You know, it's just like
I was gonna say it's a different mentality.
Yeah.
Individually, it's a different mentality.
Yeah, it's just like, it's terrible, bro. It's just like there's a huge difference between the two, and it's just like, and no part of you takes a step back to kind of look at yourself and look at everybody else and say, holy crap, dude, I'm so completely different than everybody else. Let me conform. Let me, you know, nothing, bro. Nothing. I don't hear anything. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yep.
It really is. Hey, by the way, do you realize this, okay? This team and that coach is 4 wins away from going 31-10 with 2 different teams.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I trust me. I look at that record and I'm like, this is the other year on the flip side, you know, where it's starting great, you know, and we're almost at that halfway point, and the record's looking pretty similar to what the second half looked like on that team that, you know, that didn't end up being the success was a little more of an illusion back then.
Right.
So.
Right. And again, going back to the aforementioned Dion Waiters, does he notice that also, by the way? Just, you know, because he thought that Spo couldn't coach, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's shown it. I mean, you know, like even now, I mean, he's in that, whether he wants it or not, he's in that mix to potentially be in the All-Star game, you know.
Yeah.
If they stay in that second spot.
Andre, when you walk into that locker room, talk to us a little bit about the confidence that they carry themselves with, because they don't lose back-to-back games. They and Milwaukee, I think, are the only 2 teams in the NBA that haven't had back-to-back losses. They have shown, you know, I talked about this today, they have shown an incredible amount of maturity for a team that has new pieces, young pieces, to go along with a couple of veterans. It's a kind of team that could be very volatile. It's a kind of team that maybe shouldn't be as mentally strong, shouldn't be as consistent, because they haven't been together, and they have a lot of inexperience. There's a lot of ingredients that really say you shouldn't be 27-10. Why? Explain. What do you see?
Well, I see, and without sounding too cliche, I just see cohesiveness. I won't get too cliche with some of the other stuff about how they like each other and all that, which they do, and it seems like they get along for the most part well. But I think more importantly, it's the cohesiveness. And I say that, not just the cohesiveness on the court, I think in just every little thing, everything in the background, in a practice, like for the most part, at least outwardly, you see everything working. Guys have to be maybe, you know, told, you know, how, what it, you know, all the little things that need to be done, all the little, you know, professional routines that need to be followed, you know, and that's, and again, like we said before, that's remarkable for a team this young, for the, you know, with having more than half their roster, you know, younger, only a few years or less in the NBA type of guys, you know, and I think that's a testament to them. There's always, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm sure, you know, behind the scenes, every once in a while, you know, guys are still learning. There's little mistakes made. There's little things that will be corrected, of course. But in general, you go in there and you don't get the sense. You get the sense of like they're all in it together. They all echo each other's comments about, you know, how supportive they want this to work, how much they want everybody to be a contributing part of it. You know, whether you have major names like, you know, Jimmy Butler, or you're a guy starting out, or you're, you know, the 10th, 11th guy on the bench. You know, they all want to make it work.
I'm with you there. They're an exciting race here down the stretch. People were screaming their lungs out. Andre, one more thing before I let you go. Did Spo pull a piece of Riley by challenging his team about the 500? Why do I say that? He knew this was a 3-game road trip. He knew his team was 9-9. He knows his team is better than the Nets and the Knicks, but he knew the challenge would be the Pacers. So he gets on their asses. He gets under their craw. He tells them they're not doing good enough. They go out there, they play lights out, and they beat Indiana. They feel good about themselves. And then they also know, they're smart enough to know, all right, dude, we can't go beat Indiana and lose to the Nets and the Knicks. We got to beat these teams if we're going to beat Indiana, because then there's a little self-motivation to it that kind of lifts you.
Right.
Like, all right, let's end this road trip on a positive. We're going to play two lesser teams. And then he doesn't have to send them that message, but he wanted to maybe give them a little extra push for the Pacers.
Yeah.
Very Riley-like in playing with the mind.
The student again of Pat, and it comes through once again. And yeah, like you said, I mean, they have had letdowns against lesser teams after, especially coming off big wins. So that's another thing. So he's thinking they get this Pacers win, and then hopefully there's no slip up the next two. But if they come away at least 2 out of 3 out of it, let's say, just strictly looking at the numbers, but. That's why I think tonight's going to be key, because Brooklyn's right on that fringe of the playoffs. They're struggling right now. They lost 7 in a row. They're still shorthanded in terms of the roster. So, again, it's a vulnerable team, and we have seen this team have a couple hiccups against seemingly vulnerable teams before, like the Wizards. And, so it's important. It's important to keep that, that finger on the pulse, finger on the button, and keep pushing this team to not have these slip-ups and not have letdowns. And again, let's see what else they can come up with little by little as it goes forward.
Although I'm not holding that Wizards, bro. They got 800 points off the bench, bro. Who the hell gets 800 points off the bench, bro? I mean, that was such a flukish game. That was the flukish game.
Yeah, if only the Wizards could play defense, then what a dangerous team they'd be.
Yes, yeah, because I got to tell you, they have options. Like, there are guys that can score on that team. They do have some guys that can score, even with their injuries right now. And Wall being out for most of I think he's out for the whole year. Beal's actually missed a significant amount. But all these other guys that they got some other guys, Brown and Bertrands and these kind of cats that can, Wagner and all that. They've got guys that can score, and they're not that bad, actually.
No, I think it was the second best scoring team in the East, or something like that, or overall, I think something like that. But then you look at their defense; they're allowing the most points in the NBA. So there you go.
Follow him on Twitter, man. He knows how to get it done. Fernandez, Andre C. More importantly, catch his work there at the Athletic MIA, Athletic MBA too. Andre, enjoy the game, and of course, enjoy the corn.
That's right.
Corn cake, or what is it?
Cornbread.
Cornbread. I'm sorry, cornbread. That's right.
He's
cornbread.
trying to sell you on something he can't even pronounce.
I know, idiot.
Get me some of that cornbread and juniors. Even more important.
Oh, dude, save me, bro. Bring me some. That would be amazing.
Okay, I'll see if I can get you some on the plane.
Ship me some, dude. That would be amazing. Yeah. All right, Andre, you're the best, baby. You be good out there. Take it easy.
You too. Take care.
All right, Andre Fernandez, man. Good man. Good reporter. Getting it done. Covering the Miami Heat for the Athletic. Seriously, he pulled a little Riley. That was Riley. That's a Riley ass move right there that Spo pulled on him.
You know who's the happiest guy in town? Well, he's not in town right now. Andre, getting moved from the Marlins to the Heat beat.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Like, there's an extra pep in his step.
I know.
His wife notices this smile, like, wipe that smile off your face. Yeah. You're always smiling now.
Yeah, but I feel bad for Andre because he likes baseball. But you know what's got to be tough, Bill? The toughest thing to do in this business, and I don't care what you're doing, you're covering a sport nobody cares about. You write all that stuff every day. Very few people are reading it.
Your heart's in it.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know all these guys, Clark Spencer, you name it, any of these guys that are on the Marlins beat over the years, they've worked their asses off on that beat, coming up with all kinds of stories. And, it's like nobody cares. Nobody reads it. I'll admit, I don't read a lot of them. I don't have a lot of interest in the Marlins. I follow it, but casually. I don't follow it so, watch the games. But am I reading every story? No. Am I reading every story of the Dolphins and the Heat? Yeah. Yeah. I read all the Panther stories too. But the Marlins, it's like, you're not trying. Why am I supposed to try? You know what I mean? Not the writer, the team. And so I got to tell you, that's tough. It's tough. I see it even with electronic people. You know, the other day I was doing an appearance with Minervini. And, you know, Minervini's passionate about the baseball team and the hockey team and all that. But, you know, I was brutally honest about the baseball team. You know, it is what it is. But the person that covers the baseball team or works for the baseball team, you know, they have a different agenda. They want people to care about what they're covering. And then the other person that works for the team, they want you to care about the team that's paying them their salary. You know? It's got to be tough. I got to tell you. I did, you know, like when I covered baseball, it was 97. So people cared because it was a World Series year. And then I covered half of 98. That's when they finally took me off and kept me permanently on Dolphins and Heat after that. And let me tell you something, I was the happiest man in the world. Obviously, football's my sport. That goes without saying. But I love baseball. I got no problem with baseball. I love it. But it's not, I don't have the love for baseball that I had when I was a kid. And I don't love baseball nearly as much as I love football and basketball. That's just the facts. Can't do anything about it. It is what it is. I'd love to be more interested in the sport, but I can't. They don't do their part.
That's ownership, man.
And locally, they do nothing. No, I mean, nationally, it's a pain in the ass. Locally, it's disgusting. You know? So, I mean, what are you going to do? But it's just one of those situations that I feel bad for the media folks that have to work in that environment.
Before we take a break, just to give you some info.
Yes.
Okay? Since Washington beat us, they have played 500 ball. They're 3-3 and no slouches. They beat us, the Celtics, and the Denver Nuggets.
They can score.
Okay?
No, they can score.
Got a little something going on with that group.
Score.
Okay,
they can score. They can't defend, but they can score.
We obviously that win they put it in their pocket. Had a little nugget and. To beat Denver and Celtics, no slouches, man.
I know, but our game, dude, they got 84 points off the bench.
They were out of their
84 points off a bench, bro. Come on. That just doesn't happen. 84 points off the bench. You'd be lucky to get 84 points from your starters. Okay?
Yeah. And,
you get 84
like the big
points
three.
from
The
your
big three. The big three getting 84 points.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But, I mean, just any starters overall would be fortunate to score 84 points. You know what it is to get it from your bench? Come on, man.
We need to get moving here.
All right, let's tell you about Craig Zins, Acura of Pembroke Pines. They are an amazing dealership, and right now, folks, they got it going on. The ILX 2020 models, 209, TLX 239, RDX 339, MDX 349, only $29.99 to its signing, plus tax tag and registration, folks. Hey, tell them that Big O sent you. I promise you they're going to take care of you at the finest dealership in the business. It is at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Tell them that we sent you. It's Craig Zins, Acura of Pembroke Pines. When we come back, we're going to talk to Calvin Watkins, my buddy, who works for the Dallas Morning News. He covers something a lot of people care about. That's the Cowboys. They choke a lot, but they care about them. We'll talk to Calvin next.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We are ready to rock. Yes, sir, at Hialeah Park. I'm actually, I got some action going on here in race 4 at Gulfstream. We got horses 1 and 3, so let's see what we can do here. See if we can get it done. Get a little wager, just a little bucks, just to have some fun. Myron says, oh, if my Niners win Saturday, can you get a beat writer for the Niners to talk about the game? That will be awesome. Thank you. All right, you got it, my brother. Alex says, let's see. That would make sense if only we had a superstar on this team. We would be unstoppable. I guess he must be talking about the Heat. Oh, I think he's going back and forth with NorCal here. 420 Fuego says, Spo, Coach of the Year. Estefins says, Fins talk, love it. Thank you, sir. We got. I mean, there's not a lot of Fin stuff going on, so that's where, you know. Dougie Fresh says, Big O, nobody would admit going to the bunny ranch. They wouldn't? You go wrangling up a bunny, wake up, recommit your life to a higher power for at least a week. Lie to everybody. Leather, rinse, and repeat. How you doing? All right, do we have my
Big
man
O,
Cal?
we got Calvin Watkins ready to join us, sir.
I like it. I like it. We are ready to talk to Calvin Watkins. You can follow him on Twitter at Calvin Watkins. And, of course, his work is all on the Dallas Morning News, getting it done as the Cowboys now have their coach, Mike McCarthy. So, Mr. Watkins, how was your New Year's, my friend?
It was very good. It's a little stressful, but now that they got a head coach, everything's peaceful now.
Okay, all right. Not the kind of stressful like R. Kelly that he's got one girlfriend assaulting another and getting arrested. I thought that was a funny story. That's stressful right there.
No, I don't have that kind of stress like Mr. Kelly does. No.
Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. All right, so can Mike McCarthy handle the stress of dealing with Jerry Jones? They were very buddy-buddy in the press conference. Everything seemed so magical and in place during the press conference. But what do you foresee?
I think it was good. I mean, obviously, first press conference, everybody's going to be happy and kiss each other on the cheek and all that kind of stuff. But Mike McCarthy understands the deal. He coached in Green Bay, and their expectations is very high, much like here in Dallas. Now, whether or not he gets it done, I really don't know. He's got a talented roster that players need to probably be coached up a little bit more than what they have been over the last couple of years under Jason Garrett. But I definitely would say Mike McCarthy understands what he's getting himself into.
All right, so at least he gets it. And is he going to be working with Dak Prescott on a long-term basis? Is that your prediction?
Well, he got a 5-year deal. Well, he got a 5-year deal, and I was saying on TV the other day, he's got 2 years to get this going because this is not a rebuilding program. This is a now program. So he's got 2 years to kind of make this work. And after that, I doubt he'll get it done. You know what I'm saying? Because you start looking at the ages of some of those players in the offensive line. You start looking at the ages of some of those defensive players, depending on who they bring back. So
salary cap.
Long term, I don't know.
Yeah, no, and the salary cap ramifications in 2 years
salary
from
cap
having to pay everybody.
Oh,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you got 2 years, and that's it. And then we'll see.
What'd you think of T.O.'s comments of going after Tom Brady? I got to tell you something. Tom Brady on that team makes them an instant Super Bowl contender, man. With that line, that running game, what do you think about that crazy idea?
That's a crazy idea. I think, Tom Brady has always had great success, and he's had one good receiver and one good tight end. And without that, you kind of saw what he was, which is the average quarterback. Now, he's a lot older, so he's never been able to move around as much, but he's had a lot of talent around him, maybe not a lot of big-name guys all the time, because we had Randy Moss even win the Super Bowl. But when he had some other guys around him, like a Wes Walker and even Edelman and those kinds of things, he won championships. And he also had a pretty good running game, but he had a good tight end. And when he didn't have that, he had a lot of problems. So I could definitely see him being here in Dallas. He can win a Super Bowl, but the reality is he's staying in New England.
Yeah, I think that's his best place. Cal, for me, I think he's done all of this to have leverage against Belichick. Do you see it the same way?
A little bit. One of the things that's interesting about that relationship is I'm sure Bill was ready to move on from Tom like 2-3 years ago.
Right. Maybe
3 years ago, and then they made the trade with San Francisco for Garoppolo. So I think, Bill Belichick wanted to accelerate the process in terms of getting with Tom Brady. And then when Robert Kraft stepped in and said, no, we're going to keep with Tom, I think that kind of delayed everything. So if I'm Belichick, I'm just going to ride this out until it's over. But it wouldn't surprise me at some point if the Patriots do draft a quarterback in the second round. If they have a second round pick after all the cheating that's going on this year with them.
How do you think this team is going to respond to Mike McCarthy? Are they going to look at him like that championship coach? Or, one of the things, Cal, from an outsider's point of view, I almost feel like Cowboy players will never respect the coach as long as the owner's holding his own press conference every time and undercutting everybody. And everybody sees that's the dude that's really in charge, not you, brother. I don't care what you tell me. And that's the problem I have with the way things are run in Dallas. It's not so much that Jerry is meddling. It's just that the way he talks publicly, he kind of, undercuts the coach's legs in a way. What do you think?
Yeah, in some instances, I would say that. But when you're a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, you got to be a couple of things. You got to be secure in your own skin. That's number one. You just got to be like, look, I can't worry about what the owner says. And always keep the message on point in that locker room. And keep the focus on what we're trying to do as a team. That was one of the good things that Jason Garrett did during his 9 years with the Cowboys, because he just ignored everything. Wade Phillips didn't. I think Wade reacted too much to what Jerry said, and Jason, he didn't. He just said, look, we just got to do what we got to do. Now, there were some tough losses this year. When they lost to the Patriots, Jerry called the team out. So we had a chance to get a statement win, and we failed in that area. So, that's as a head coach, that you gotta win that game, and they didn't. So outside of that, I think Jason needed to just win football games. If you win football games, it doesn't matter what Jerry said. That's the bottom line, and they didn't win enough under Jason Garrett.
But do you feel that those players respected him and really played hard for him? Because that's probably why they didn't win enough games, because they didn't respect him and put up, the effort and play with the kind of concentration that you need week in and week out, that kind of stuff. Don't you think that that's kind of one with the other?
No, I mean, they like Jason and they respected him. I think toward the end they tuned him out. But you could say the same thing about Mike McCarthy in the last 2 years of Green Bay. He was feeding with Aaron Rodgers, players tuned him out, and he got fired. I mean, he was there for 13 years. I think that happens with a lot of coaches who are in one place for one full season. But the players like Garrett, and they respected him. A lot of times I think we in the media, we think we know what we're talking about when it comes to some of these players. And when you look at the roster of the Cowboys, you go, maybe we overrated some of these guys. In the last 2 weeks of the season, Amari Cooper did not get a touchdown pass.
Right.
Kellen Moore did not run the ball enough with Ezekiel Elliott. The offensive line wasn't as good this year as it has been in the past. Defense was average at best, and I'm being nice there. DeMarcus Lawrence had one full sack the last 2 months of the season. It's got nothing to do with coaching. That's got nothing to do with, am I respecting Jason Garrett? You're a professional. You got to play. And I think those guys like Jason, they just didn't perform at the high level because maybe we overrated them a little bit in some instances.
How's the Cowboy Nation responding when that team has 4 billion Pro Bowlers over the years and they have not really and this team has not reached really, we all see it. I mean, you and I know if they had a great coach, they probably would have been, still in the playoffs and maybe even challenging for a Super Bowl, because when I look at that roster, I got to agree, man, I think that roster's freaking loaded.
Well, let's look at their roster. I mean, I think you have a talented roster. So I look at the offense, and the running back is outstanding. The quarterback is good. They got an elite receiver. The offensive line is fantastic. I look on defense. Byron Jones hasn't had an interception in like almost 3 years. You want to pay him $16, $18 million a year? We just talked about DeMarcus Lawrence. The entire defensive front outside DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be free agents next year. Robert Quinn, you know him from living in Miami. He led the Cowboys in sacks, but now he's, 31? You going to pay him any money?
Well, I don't.
Probably not.
And listen, he's an injury-prone guy that knew that his contract was up, and he balled out this year because he's searching for that money again. I wouldn't trust that guy. I was actually shocked that he played this well and stayed even healthy this year.
Nathan Vanderlist, you're going to need neck surgery. this month. You know, he's the second year in the league. He's got spinal stenosis. You going to pay him any money? He's got a narrow spinal cord, column, a narrow spinal column. So he needs surgery. So Jalen Smith made the Pro Bowl, but when you look at it, when you watch him play, there was a lot of missed tackles on Jalen Smith's resume. Cowboys have been trying to replace their safeties for 4 years now. They were thinking about trading for Jamal Adams at the trade deadline. So when you break down their roster, you go, are we saying the Cowboys have a talented roster because they are the Dallas Cowboys? You know, when this is the same team that had a chance to clinch a playoff berth in Philly, they didn't score a touchdown. They lost. You know, so, sometimes, as I said before, sometimes we in the media, and I'm included in this, you look at these teams and say, this is going to be a great team. And then when you go over the course of the season, we have to sit back and say, maybe they're not as good as we thought they were, And defensively, that's where their biggest problem is. I mean, they had two different sets of schemes. They had the Rod Marinelli, Tampa 2, and then they had Chris Richard running his single high safety scheme that he ran in Seattle. So there was a lot of issues there. And it's the reason why they're not going to bring Richard back or Rod Marinelli back. So, Mike McCarthy is going to revamp this whole coaching staff. As talented as the Cowboys offense was, there were 3 games they didn't score a touchdown.
Yeah, but
they didn't make playoffs. They're 8-8. So are they really that talented, or is it about they didn't get coached the right way? I don't know.
But the problem I have with that, where I have to lean to the coaching, is it's every year like that. That's the problem I have with Cal, and that's where I have to say, I look at the names on there and I go, you got to get more out of this team. You're not getting enough out of this team, and that's where I'm interested to see if Mike McCarthy can get more, because we start to get to a point, because you mentioned there earlier in this interview, there in a couple of years, then you got to start looking at ages. And all of a sudden, we've been talking about this Dallas team for several years now, because 2 years from now, it's going to be 5, 6, 7 years that we've been talking about this Cowboy team and this talent. And before we know it, the door is going to be closed on them, and that window of opportunity is gone, and you didn't maximize it. It's kind of what I feel.
Yeah. I agree with you. I mean, they could have been coached up a little bit better. I really believe that. I think Garrett took them only as far as he could take them. But I'm not going to absolve the players of their responsibilities, too, So I think it's a combination of both. So we'll see how much of a difference Mike McCarthy can be. And like I said, I think it's a great hire for the Cowboys. I'm a little surprised they went this way, because this is a football guy. This is not a sexy hire.
Right.
Everyone thought that they were going to maybe try to hire a college coach. And during the course of the year, as many interviews as Jerry Jones conducts, no one was really listening to him. One of the things he would say repeatedly was, you know what? I thought having a young coaching staff, that Jason Garrett's experience, his safety net, would catch a lot of issues that we had in coaching, and we didn't. Then he talked about college coaches that come to the pros don't have a good winning percentage. So Jerry was thinking, even during the season, that I needed a veteran coach, a proven winner. And here you go with Mike McCarthy. Now, he could have went with Ron Rivera, who he really liked, but Mike McCarthy's won a Super Bowl, and he's coached an iconic franchise in the Packers, as you know. So this seems like to be the perfect hire for him. And I think Jerry's agreeing with you that he thinks that we can coach him up a little bit better. We should be good to go. But then when I tell you about all the defensive issues they had, and even Amari Cooper slumping down the stretch, I go, are they really that talented, or is it coaching? So we'll find out in September.
Follow him on Twitter at Calvin Watkins. Catch his work at the Dallas Morning News. Cal will wrap it up with this. Stephen Jones and his staff have done a really good job on the personnel side. That's something we have to commend them. How much input does Mike McCarthy get in personnel? Not that really the Cowboys need the help, because they've been really, really good, but coaches, all head coaches like to have some kind of influence. What kind of power have they given Mike, if any?
I think, he's got his power isn't any different than Jason Garrett.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is if I will say this, I think Mike McCarthy will make quicker decisions than Jason Garrett. I think Jason Garrett, waited too long to make decisions on players. Mike McCarthy would be like, look, we got to get rid of this guy, or we need to add somebody, So the coaches have always had a say around here. It's just a matter of, when do you want to speak up and say, we need to make a move here? Because Jerry is open to saying, if you want to change something, we can. So I think Mike will have a lot of say, and I think he will exercise that quite a bit. Because I do believe he was frustrated with that in Green Bay, with the lack of movement by then General Manager Ted Thompson, who didn't make as many moves as I think McCarthy would have liked. Here, Jerry Jones is like, I'll make moves. If you look at what the Cowboys did, last year they traded for Amari Cooper at the trade deadline. This year they traded for Michael Bennett. So that tells you that they're willing to make moves during the course of the season to improve their roster. They were trying to get Jamal Adams at the trade deadline from the Jets. Didn't work out. Right. So Cowboys are willing to do that, and I think Mike McCarthy will benefit from it a lot.
He is Calvin Watkins of the Dallas Morning News. Follow him on Twitter at Calvin Watkins. Cal, I probably won't see you at the East-West, but I'm sure I'll see you at the Senior Bowl. I'm sure you'll be in Mobile.
Yeah, I'll see you down the line, bro.
Drinks on me, baby. You be good.
All right, that's it.
There you go. Calvin Watkins from the Dallas Morning News. Good stuff, as always. Good dude. You want a good dude, Steve Ostrob and the great people at Toyota of Hollywood. We were actually broadcasting out there yesterday. They've got over 1,500 cars and trucks in stock. Let me tell you, they got some great deals. 2019 pre-owned CH, Toyota CHRLE, not 23,000, not 20,000, 16,775. 2020 Corolla E pre-owned, man. Telling you, LE, not 22,000, not 16,000, 13,775. How about a Yaris? A Yaris L 4-door, 2019 pre-owned, not 17,000, not 15,000, 11,775. 2019 Camry SE, not 28,000, not 22,000, 17,775. These deals are amazing. Experience it for yourself. 6 straight years as the #1 volume sales dealership when it comes to Toyotas in the Southeast United States. They're open till midnight, and they'll make your payments till 2021. Get on down to 1841 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. It is Toyota of Hollywood. And we thank Calvin Watkins from the Dallas Morning News for joining us here on the program. As always, Cal is a good dude. At the bottom of the hour, Will Carroll, the injury expert, is going to join us. So we'll ask Will about some of the important injuries going on in the world of sports, which I know we got a bunch of important injuries. So just in case, before you make, of course, your investment this weekend, you got to know what's going on. So Will Carroll will fill you in on any of that stuff. And we'll give you the latest on the injuries, especially in the NFL. We got a couple in basketball, but more importantly, let's focus on the NFL and the players that could be out here. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, and, of course, on Twitter, at Big O Show. That's the way that you want to reach out to us on Twitter, at Big O Show. Myron Sanchez says, finally, the Cowgirls got a real coach. Mike McCarthy's done a really good job overall. Question is, will he be able to do his job when it comes to the Cowboys? Because Jerry's the guy that, I don't know, man, I just have a hard time believing that, he's going to make your life easy doing this gig. That's one that, I don't know, man. I got to see it to believe it, put it that way. Because I almost feel like maybe if you don't even get it done in that first year, your voice will run out quickly in that locker room because of Jerry.
because he's too buddy-buddy with the situation. And then on top of everything, they know that he's the guy in charge, not the coach. You know what I mean? So that's where it becomes a problem, I think, overall. All right, 786-322-1105 for the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105. Did you guys see the Carson Wentz story? I don't know if you saw this, that Carson Wentz, he's the one that kind of told the doctor, hey, something's wrong with me. I am not right here, and I think I've got a concussion. And so the doctor actually wanted, he commended Carson Wentz for coming forward and reporting the concussion. I got it here. It says, I think what Carson Wentz did is heroic, the doctor said, and should be highlighted as an example of how an unbelievably skilled and competitive athlete understands the seriousness of concussion injury and is willing to honestly report it and receive the care that he needs, independent of his desire and drive to continue to participate in the game, Dr. Alan Sills told the AP on Thursday. Having a concussion and playing through it is not about toughness. That's demonstrating a lack of understanding of the severity of the injury. So I applaud Carson Wentz for understanding how serious this injury is and for getting the appropriate care that he needs. Now, Sills goes on to say it's a great example for players of all ages and levels, and you only have one brain. You should take care of it with a brain injury. Neurosurgeons at Vanderbilt the neurosurgeon at Vanderbilt says brain injuries are different than other injuries. Anytime someone has a sprained ankle, you can see their ankle swell up or dislocate a finger. You can see the finger pointing in the wrong direction. You can't see a brain injury from the outside, but that does not make it any less severe or any less dangerous to the recipient than any of those other injuries. All right, so let me go to a place that a lot of people aren't going to go to, okay? I agree with Carson. I agree that Carson Wentz did the responsible thing. It's his brain. It's his life. I talk about this all the time. We don't care about these players once they're done and they're retired. And 5 years, 10 years, 20 years later after retirement, they're all broken down. They need hip replacements, knee replacements. They've got all kinds of arthritises, itises, you name it, CTE, dementia, all of those things kick in. Guess who's dealing with it? The player and his family. In a quiet corner somewhere, and nobody knows about it, nobody cares because we've moved on to the next player, the next number. And if you can avoid being, dealing with dementia or any of this stuff down the line, do it, man. Do the right thing. But here's where I'm going to go. Carson Wentz is going to get killed by some of the ignorant fools out there. There'll be some Eagles fans that are just absolute Neanderthals, and they're going to call him a wuss. And instead of with a W, they'll use a P. And they will not commend him for looking out for his health. They will say he was cheating his team. He's getting paid a lot of money. He should be in there sacrificing himself for his team and his fans. Which, of course, is a bunch of crap, because if that's what you want for your son or your daughter who's concussed, and you want them to still stay out there on the field and possibly get even further injured, then you're a bigger loser than those people. Because if you wouldn't wish it on your child, how are you going to wish it on anybody else? But I know that there's that element of scumbag out there that thinks that Carson Wentz is a wimp. I know that there's an idiot out there, some drunken fool, that thinks that Carson Wentz is not a tough guy. I mean, this is the guy that blew out his knee and is back playing football, risking all kinds of injuries again. Everybody that plays football is tough. Okay? It's a tough guy sport. I mean, I know that this is what's going to be one of the issues. And it's sad, but I bet that he'll be dealing with it. He'll get booed. People will hold this against him in Philadelphia. Remember, we are talking about the fan base that destroyed their city. Okay? All right? Super Bowl win, let's destroy our city. Not the brightest bulbs in the chandelier. All right, let's do this. Will Carroll, the injury expert. We got some big games coming up. Let's find out about some of the important injuries in those big games. We do that with,
Mark Ingram.
Yes.
We haven't even thought about it, but that guy hasn't practiced.
There you go. So we'll find out about that and more with the injury expert, Will Carroll, next.
This is the Big O Show.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
Hey, one of the things that I told you when Chan Gailey was hired, remember one of the things that I talked about, Bill? That Jim Caldwell could be, maybe they think he could be on the move?
Yeah.
Well, Tim McManus now is reporting the Dolphins QB coach Jim Caldwell and former Redskins offensive coordinator Kevin O'Connell have emerged as candidates for the Eagles opening at offensive coordinator.
Oh.
Yep. That's why, you know, when they hired Chan Gailey,
yes.
told you guys that
grab.
It might be something about molding, establishing, and then teaching, whether it's Shuplinski, their quarterback's coach, to be the next offensive coordinator, not just hand Shuplinski the offensive coordinator position since he's never done it. He'll be now dealing with Chan, and Chan will then kind of establish it, and then Shuplinski will take over. I think that's what it's about. I really do. I've been telling you that from the second.
Tell you what, man.
And I saw this now with Jim Caldwell.
To lose Caldwell and get a guy of that caliber, Gailey, you got to give Greer all the props.
Well, because it's foresight, have an experienced coach to help you establish
Yes.
things instead of bringing in a young guy that had never done it before, and then, you know, that becomes an issue.
And like you said, we could groom the guy that we're going to pass the baton to and continue
right
on the same path.
Because they like Shuplinski, the QB coach. All right, and we like Will Carroll, the injury expert. He is the best in the business. And if you want to follow him, it's really simple. You go to Injury Expert. Make sure you follow him there. He is Will Carroll. Will the Thrill, how you doing, baby?
I'm doing great. We were talking just off the air about how great this weekend is. All the games. it's all the games. It's like Christmas all over again.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. And we got a lot of important injuries that we've got to talk about in this one. First of all, Adam Thielen. Apparently they're going to try to play him with the ankle. What's the latest there? What do you hear about his injury?
Yeah, they're going to give him every chance. He's a real game time decision. Everything I'm hearing is he is going to play. Thielen's not a route runner. So you worry about those guys like a Juju Smith-Schuster that has to go out there and be able to run those routes, make those precise cuts, be able to get off the line and get his timing right. That's not really Thielen's game. This is related to the hamstring. That old song about the hamstring bone is connected to the ankle bone. It's really true. His gait is still off. You can see him not so much limping, but if you really dig into the tape, you can see he's short striding in a lot of places. He's not a big guy, but he's a long strider for his size. He's not there yet, and that's what threw this off. So I don't think it's going to be a big detriment. I think they're going to feed him long balls. I think they're going to at least make them think about that. The play action, that's where Kirk Cousins is really good. When they've got Cook going and Cousins can make some fakes and do his little razzle-dazzle back there, Thielen going deep makes them think about that, opens up the bottom of the field for guys like Kyle Rudolph to push off. Did I say that? So it's one of those things where I do think Thielen's going to go, and I do think he's going to be able to still make them better, even if he's not 100%.
All right. Travis Kelce, knee bruise, been practicing. What's the latest?
Yeah, it's just painful. Anybody that's ever gone and played pickup basketball is hit gun knee to knee with somebody, and it hurts. The only thing about this one to me is that it's dumb. All these guys are out there, and the guys, including Kelce, that don't wear knee pads or wear the knee pads that are barely there and up on their thigh, why? Do you really feel like you're that much faster? Is it worth getting hit or putting yourself at risk? I don't understand when great players like Kelce absolutely put themselves at risk when they don't need to.
That is interesting, and he's had his share of injuries too. All right, Will Fuller, speaking of injuries, that man's always injured with the groin. What's the latest?
Yeah, this is the problem, is that if he can't get off the line, it doesn't matter how fast he is. And with the groin, he's just not able to. They're going to give him every chance to play, but right now he's not near 100%. And 80% of Will Fuller isn't that good. He's one of those guys. He's a sports car. He's very seldom in perfect condition, but when he is, man, it's fun. I just don't think he's going to be there. We'll have to see how they adjust. They got by last week without him. They're used to getting by without him, so I don't think it affects Deshaun Watson that much. The idea has always been that it gives Hopkins a little more room, that he's running deep, that Hopkins can shift around, that he doesn't get as many double teams. I don't think that's true. Looking back at the data that PFF puts together, I don't think it makes that big a difference. Certainly you'd like to have your deep threat, you'd like to have all your weapons, but I don't think it really changes what Houston does for precisely the reason you said. He's hardly ever out there.
All right. Laramie Tunsil's dealing with an ankle. Will, what's the latest?
Yeah, with Tunsil, and you guys know him well, he's just got to have a stable base. We saw last week guys were pushing through him. He's not able to establish. They adjusted with the scheme, and I think they're going to be able to do that. And I think another week is going to help him. We didn't see any setbacks, but sometimes you don't. You have him taped up so tight that I don't think there was a major setback. But you're still out there playing on something that's less than 100%. So it's difficult. He did fairly well. Be interested to see exactly what they do. He ends up against a speed rusher. He's going to have some real problems.
All right. And, of course, you can follow Will Carroll on Twitter at Injury Expert. Ziggy Ansah. This is a little disturbing, dealing with a neck injury, not practicing. What do you think?
Yeah, this is anytime you hear neck or spine or lower back, you really start to worry. We don't exactly know what the condition is. They're being very vague with it, and he's going through some testing. So this one is worrisome, and until we know more about what's going on, I don't want to speculate. But certainly for a player like Ansah, if he's not, this is something that could be keeping him out for a matter of weeks, not just one game. So bad time for the injury, a bad injury to have, and one you always have to worry about.
Riley Reef dealing with a concussion, a game-time decision. What are you hearing?
Yeah, this is one of the things with the way they've administered the concussion policy. You hear guys, they're in the protocol. What the heck does that mean? Well, it's a 3-step process, and that last step is going to the independent doctor. They've changed it up where it used to be if you went on Fridays, you go back on Saturday. It was 24 hours. Now they're saying it's 48 hours. So teams tend to wait until Saturday. If you're not going to be able to, test a couple times just in case you're wondering whether a guy's close, if the guy's close, why are you playing him? With this one, they wait till Saturday. They give them all the time in the world. So when you see these guys that are day-to-day with a concussion, it basically means the team is waiting for the last second for them to take that final step in the protocol. So that's at least a good sign. He's progressed through the first 2 steps, and they think he's going to be ready. So while they're calling it a game-time decision, they think he's going to play when you see this sort of setup. Concussions are tough. We know there's long-term consequences, but in the short term, if you clear the protocol, that usually means you're back to 100%.
All right, Dwayne Brown, the tackle, dealing with the biceps. Apparently, they say he's going to try to play. What do you hear?
Yeah, this is one of those situations. It's analogous to what J.J. Watt is doing, where it's going to blow. We just don't know when, and maybe you make through it, but in the worst case, the fix is no different. Can he be effective with a weakened bicep? You think, well, a lineman's not out there curling somebody, so can you play? Yeah, you can, but man, there's so many forces. There's so many things that you have to do. You got to be able to move your arms. There's so much pressure from the outside. Well, you may think about a curl. If a guy gets outside of you and is pulling your shoulder back, which is something you're going to see, especially if the guy is speed rushing you, you've got to be able to pull him back in, and that's the bicep. So with a weakened one, with one that they think is going to need surgery in the near term, he's taking a risk without a ton of downside, but man, you just hate to see it because it's painful. It's certainly not something you want to see. But the NFL has this mythology of pain management. Cut off your finger, play with a broken arm, get out there and do your thing. I don't hate it for the NFL. I hate it because I know there's a high school coach somewhere that's telling a kid, hey, J.J. Watt played, why aren't you?
Oh, nice. That's disturbing, dude. All right. Pascal Siakam, the groin. They say he might be back next week. What's the latest?
Yeah, they're looking towards that, and they want to make sure he's 100%. It's kind of funny. With muscular injuries, it used to be you waited, and we saw a lot of returns, and a guy would, restrain the hamstring, restrain the groin. Now, with the tools we have, you have an ultrasound machine, kind of just like the one that you see to see your baby when it's 2 weeks old. They use those on muscles, and they can go in there and say, yeah, this is healing up. Yeah, this is where we want this to be. Yeah, the muscle fibers are starting to regenerate around it. We don't see so many of those restraints because we're not guessing anymore. You can actually look. So with Siakam, the fact that he's getting close means everything's going well. We've seen that the NBA has gotten very, very conservative with returns. So I think the fact that this is delayed doesn't really mean anything in terms of the injury. It's more the resetting of the clocks and making sure these guys are 100% when they're back out there.
Now, let me ask you something. When you look at the Lakers, Anthony Davis dealing with the back injury, what's the latest there?
Yeah, he fell and went boom. It's really as basic as that. We all saw the injury. We've seen the highlight a bunch of times. You hear back injury, and you certainly worry about it. But this is basically, he fell down and bruised his butt. And that hurts, don't get me wrong. But long-term consequences, not really. What you want to do is make sure that he gets past the pain, he gets past the inflammation, doesn't cause any other problems. Davis is another one of the guys who maybe he doesn't look like it. He's certainly not a speed player. You don't think about big guys not being power guys, but he's a finesse guy. He's got to have very fine movements. He's very tightly wound. So look, he probably needs a rest anyway. This is a chance to buy it. He'll be out a couple of games. It's kind of funny. You say you sit him on the bench. Well, that's probably uncomfortable for him. So hopefully he can find a comfortable position and get out there and not have many problems with it. I think this is something that in a week we'll say, is no big deal.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up with this. And I don't know if this is something physical or something mental you may not be able to answer. But how come I'm hearing a different story about Kyrie Irving every other week? Oh, he might be back in a couple weeks. No, he might be out for a couple of months. He doesn't know how bad this shoulder is. What is the deal with this flake? What's the latest with Kyrie Irving?
This is one of those situations where you kind of have to know who the player is. And certainly some people have very negative views on Irving. But for me, this does come back to anytime you're hearing multiple stories, that probably means there's multiple people telling stories. And you're going to have different outlooks. The team is going to have somebody leaking to the press. The agent's going to have somebody leaking to the press. Maybe there's a doctor involved who's a source. There's so many different things going on. It means everybody's not on the same page. When they're not on the same page, things get a little twisty. I mean, we've seen what happened with Kawhi Leonard a couple of years ago, where a very reputable doctor just disagreed with a very good medical staff in San Antonio. And was either of them right? Well, kind of both. And when you look at how Kawhi Leonard's come back and has that nice flashy ring and that big new contract, you kind of have to say he did pretty well for himself. I think this is a lot like that. The other thing to keep in mind here is the Nets aren't playing for Jack. They're playing for next year. So they're not going to risk any little bit of Kyrie Irving until Kevin Durant comes back. And every time we talk about Irving, I keep talking about Kevin Durant because we haven't heard anything. And why not? We're here at about 8 months out, and this is normally a 6 to 9 month injury. I certainly haven't seen any indication that Kevin Durant is doing anything but beefing on Twitter. We should be seeing him playing unless they're holding him back, or very small case, something went horribly wrong with the surgery. I just think they're basically tanking the year, and if that's the case with Durant, might not that be the case with Irving?
That's something to think about right there. I like that. Follow him on Twitter at Injury Expert. He is Will Carroll. Will, so what do you got, baby? Minnesota, San Francisco, who's winning it?
I like the Niners. I just like the way they've put together that team. There were a lot of questions about Shanahan. He's one of the best play designers. Garoppolo's been able to go out there and execute those. And all credit to John Lynch. He put together a team and built a culture, which is tough. Building a culture is tough. There's a history there, but this team isn't about that history. You look at when the team was great, it didn't carry over. That institutional intelligence didn't make it down. He had to start from scratch almost, and he's done a great job in a short amount of time.
All right, Tennessee at Baltimore. Will Tannehill make it a miracle there in Baltimore?
I can't see it, though. I think this is one of those situations where if I'm Marcus Mariota, I'm very happy because the guy who just took my job is the guy who's making my case. There's going to be a quarterback coach somewhere that thinks, you know what? Marcus Mariota was really good in the NFL. He was really good in college. I can fix him. Tannehill was always kind of that guy. He was hurt. Everything didn't come together, but there was an underlying talent there. I just don't think it's enough. The underlying talent edge goes way over to Baltimore. I think Lamar Jackson's going to have a coming out party this year. If you don't already know how good the MVP is, you're going to.
All right. Houston, will they pull off the upset in Kansas City? Who you got?
No, I think Kansas City blows them out. Pat Mahomes, He's just too good. I think Kelsey, everything is set up for his success in this matchup. We'll have to hear a whole lot more about J.J. Watt, but I think we're setting up for the year of the quarterback, and Mahomes is the best of the bunch.
Russell Wilson, can he do it on the road in Green Bay?
Yes, I think it's going to be a tougher matchup. A lot of people, especially at the start of the season, were like, why isn't Rodgers throwing? Why isn't Rodgers throwing? Look, this is a running offense, and they've got both their running backs. They've got Aaron Rodgers who can do Aaron Rodgers things. He's not peak Aaron Rodgers. I think he's in what's going to end up looking like a very steep decline. But I think they've got enough. Russell Wilson, though, man, he's always going to keep you in a game. Marshawn Lynch comes back and looks like Marshawn Lynch. If you're a running back, I'd be kicking that guy because he just made the case against you that you can go off the street and basically pick up a guy, though there's not many Marshawn Lynches out there. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a good game. And when you talk about three quarterbacks there, let me see, Wilson, Mahomes, Jackson, those are 3 of our 4 Modus quarterbacks. So I'm kind of happy about how this playoff thing is going.
I like it. I like it. Follow him on Twitter at Injury Expert. He is Will Carroll. Catch him every week at this time right here on the program. Will the Thrill, thank you, my brother. You're the best.
Thanks, Lotto.
You got it. There you go, man. Will Carroll. Love it, man. Good stuff. Yes. 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 Ooh. Just looking at something else.
What did he happen to say about Ingram? Is he a go?
You know what? I didn't ask him about Mark Ingram. I'm sorry. I think Mark Ingram's playing anyways.
Yeah, but he hasn't practiced all week.
Yeah,
how
but
much? How much is gonna?
That's a good thing for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At this point, you don't need a guy like that to practice. You just
No,
need him,
he's
to know.
he's a baller.
Yeah. You just need him to know what the game plan is, and
Get him the ball.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, well, after the other guy touches the ball, get him the ball.
Right. Well, yeah, he's got to go from the center to Lamar to Mr. Ingram.
Right, when Lamar doesn't need it. Because obviously that's the most impactful player on that team right now. That guy on offense is a machine, as they say.
What was it, 36 touchdowns to 6? Is that the right ratio?
Something like that. Yeah, it's pretty close.
You're
pretty much right there.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are. I think he's got the MVP locked up. I think is a safe assumption.
Yeah. While we're over at the draft for the week of Vegas, you know that week so far it's not super strong for concerts, but one of the concerts is Sheena Easton that we talked about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That same night also is Thelma Houston. Okay. You know Thelma Houston?
Yes.
Okay. Thelma Houston is now in the news. She has teamed up. Okay, remember I told you Ozzy and Post Malone, Ozzy and Elton John?
We got another cuckoo combination.
Thelma Houston is on the new Morrissey album.
Huh?
Yeah. I Am Not a Dog. It is coming out soon. And she's on a song called Bobby, Don't You Think They Know with Morrissey. So Thelma Houston and Morrissey.
Wow.
How about that, dude? That'll throw you off right there.
What?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know, man.
Exactly.
I don't know. You got to hear. You could go to I think it's Pitchfork, the one that has it, and they have the song, so you can hear it. It's an interesting mix. We're not playing any more music on the show because YouTube's really touchy about that stuff, and you put on a certain amount of seconds and they block you right away. So in other words,
that's why we have not been able to jam.
Right,
okay, guys?
we're only.
It isn't because we don't want to.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been handcuffed.
Yeah. So it's just we play our theme song, and that's what you're going to hear, pretty much. You know what I mean? So that's just the way it is. But Morrissey and Thelma Houston, bro.
Never in a million, bro.
Right?
No.
That's
crazy.
That is just weird, man.
Did you see the Exacta at Gulfstream, bro? The last one?
No.
The Exacta 8-2 paid $234 for a $2 bet. The trifecta paid like $740.
Wow.
You know, that a trifecta, man. When you hit a trifecta, yeah, the day is set.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. And your day is set when you go to VSS West Pines, whether it's cigarillos, whether you want to roll your own, baby. They got a wide variety and excellent selection. Tell them that Big O sent you. Rolling papers, large selection of raws. They've got the largest selection of smoking brand papers. Also, hookahs, all price ranges. Go see Jose and Jason, Alex, Tommy, all the great people down there. CBD flower, tinctures, edibles. They've got women's face masks. Also, not only do they have the face masks, but they also have the patches. So the CBD patches, my wife tried one yesterday on her shoulder, and her shoulder felt so much better because it's kind of time release. So you put it on there, and it go throughout the day. It's releasing the CBD directly into the area where the pain is. And they've got CBD topical, salva for pain, transdermal patches, which is exactly what my wife was using. I tell you, man, VSS, West Pines, the dry herb vaporizers, water pipes, glass pipes, silicone pipes. They've got them all for you there. All kinds of loose tobacco, exotic snacks. Yeah, they got it. I mean, it's really a different kind of store. E-juice for vaporizers, incense, air fresheners. They got it all, man. Rollers, grinders. You want to find out more, go to vsswestpines.com, on Instagram and Facebook at VSS West Pines. And tell them, of course, that Big O sent you.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in
Plus
Boca
tax
and Boynton.
includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All righty, we are back. It's the final hour of the program, hour number 5 already of the day. As always, we give you 5 hours of programming on Fridays, as we do 2 over at Craig's Inn, Acura, Pembroke Pines from 9 to 11, and then we're out here from 1 to 4 every Friday. Steve Calabro is always nice enough to join us here on Fridays at 3 o'clock. We're going to talk a little football, make our picks. By the way, Steve, we had John Hernandez on with us earlier, who is one of the handicappers that's going to take place or take part in the National Horse Players Championship tomorrow, on Sunday, which Bill and I will be by, and we'll be hanging out here for a little while and plunging our guts out.
John's a great guy. I know John. He's a pretty good horse picker, too.
I would imagine.
He's a very good handicapper. He's got a great shot. I got to tell you, whoever has ever picked horses and done well, just come here on January 12th. This is the best shot. We have $10,000 in prizes, $5,000 to the top winner. Think about the guy that wins first, second, or third place. Not only does he win $5,000,
$2,500, $1,500, and $1,000 for fourth place.
What about the money that he wins on his actual bets?
Right. Yeah.
It's a $10,000, $15,000 day.
Right. Yeah.
This is. I keep telling my friends this is a great handicapping contest, and come on out.
Yeah.
Please get out here.
Yeah. Find out more at HialeahPark.com. And if you win the contest, you will go to Vegas. Hotel and airfare included. You will participate in the competition this year or next year. It's up to you to pick which one you want to attend next February or next year in February for the other one in 2021. It's up to you, just in case you have any plans this February already as it is. But Sunday, get on down here by 10:30 so you can start to register. This thing gets going at noon, right? I'm correct?
The contest starts at noon. My recommendation is either sign up before you arrive or get here around 10 o'clock.
Right.
Because you're going to need some time to get registered. You're going to need some time to get organized. There's some little breakfast, like a little, not breakfast, but
snacks.
Snacks stuff. And so you can get relaxed, get settled in, look at your picks, at least the first 4 or 5 races, and get going. This is really 10 o'clock Sunday, January 12th. This is a must for anybody that knows how to pick a horse.
For sure. No doubt about it. Steve Calabro, of course, casino manager here at Hialeah Park. Go to HialeahParkCasino.com. Find out more. All right, let's talk a little NFL. I don't know if Bill wants to talk any NFL after only getting 1 out of 4.
That is incorrect, sir.
No, I think
I was 3-1.
I have 1 out of 4 for him.
1 out of 4,
he says 3 out of 1. I don't know what he said.
I had Seattle. I had Tennessee. And I had Houston.
I made the wrong wager.
I did not have New Orleans. Now, that's the game that I put into our parlay, was New Orleans.
I got to tell you, I think my recommendation is let's not talk about last week. It was a little bit of a rocky road. We went 2 out of 4. I mean, I think we did. But, I just think last week was rough.
I got 3 out of 4 out of mine.
No, but I mean the team parlay.
Oh,
That
one we haven't been able to nail.
So, but I have an idea. So this week, maybe instead of a parlay, we could pick 3. There's 2 things we could do, and there's, I guess, any other suggestions. Instead of going a 4-game pick, let's pick 3 of the games that we feel comfortable with.
Right.
Let's not
4 is a lot, man.
The difference between 3 and 4, we've talked about this before. The difference between a 3 parlay ticket and a 4 parlay ticket is very difficult in terms of the chances of winning. So I think we should do that. Or we pick 3 teams and we bet the same amount straight bets, 3 straight bets.
Money line?
Yeah, so we go with the money line. So it actually, it kind of like protects us a little. We could, even if we win 2 out of the 3, we're still ahead of the game.
Right.
Because in a 2 out of 3 in parlay, you get 0.
Right.
So
I want clarification. What are my teams on my sheet there, buddy? I missed on New Orleans only. Let's get this straight.
Everybody
3 and
missed on
1,
New Orleans.
buddy.
You got Kansas City and Houston. It's wait a minute. Let me see.
Whatever. Let's talk about this week.
Okay.
Let's talk about this week.
Okay.
This week. So this week, let me tell you something. This week there's big spreads.
Yes.
There's huge spreads.
I know.
You got. Let's read them for everybody here. You got Vikings getting 7. The Titans getting 9.5. The Texans. I don't even understand this one. The Texans getting 9.5. Now it is in Kansas City, and Seattle getting 4.5. So these are some really big point spreads.
Yes.
I think it's going to be. To me, that's telling you something. And be careful how you bet. So, how do you feel? How do you feel starting from the top?
Well, let's start with Minnesota and San Francisco. San Francisco favored by 7. The over and under is 44.5. Thielen is going to play. I love this San Francisco defense. I think they're going to pressure the hell out of Kirk Cousins. My problem with this is the spread. I think it's a little too much at -7. I don't think Minnesota has a chance at winning this game, but I think they'll keep it close. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points either way because Minnesota's got a pretty good defense. I kind of like the dog. I kind of like Minnesota here, the dog, and take the points. I think they'll lose, but not by 7.
So I kind of agree with you a little bit on this, but on the point spread. So I think the 7 points is a lot of points. That's a tough spread in this one. However, I think that if I had to pick this game with this spread, I think the 49ers will cover it.
Okay.
But I don't like the 7 because I think
they could win by 8.
They could win by 7, and you got to push, and,
Right.
and you blow the bet. So I'm not crazy about this bet. I think San Francisco. I think Kyle Shanahan's good. I think Kittle's phenomenal. I think Garoppolo's a great quarterback. So, and their defense is as good as it gets. So, for me, I like San Francisco, but I'm hoping that's not the one I got to pick. Let's go to the next one.
I got to tell you something. Bill knows what I love in this game is the under. I love the under. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points here. I think the limitations to Thielen will also hurt him because then they can double up Diggs. I don't think, and the Minnesota Vikings, I think, will also kind of limit what San Fran does. That's really what I like in this one is 44, the under 44.5.
That's probably the safest,
I don't know about safest. It's gambling, but yeah.
No, but
get
I
you.
mean, of the bets in that game, the safest bet is probably the under. Because like we talked about earlier, 21 points, you probably win this game.
Yeah, the only problem is, I could see the score 24-20, right? I could. Well, that would be.
No, that would be under.
You would just squeak it in, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can also see 27-20,
So
easily 27-20.
If there's turnovers, then obviously that's where it starts to get ugly because obviously usually the turnovers turn into points.
I also think that Minnesota, as well as they played last week, it was literally the last drive that made that game for them. If Thielen doesn't catch that ball, and that was a tremendous catch, they don't win.
Right.
They don't win the game. So Cousins had to make a spectacular throw. Thielen had to make the adjustment and make the catch. I see it, but if that play doesn't happen, we'd be having a different conversation right now. So I don't think Minnesota's really the team that everybody thinks they are. I felt good for Kirk Cousins that he had a nice. He got the finally got the playoff victory, but I think the 49ers are going to handle them.
The key to Minnesota's success is Cook. If Cook rocks it out, Minnesota's firing on all. They're a different team.
You're not running all over San Fran.
You're not
running all over San
But
Fran.
they could get him in the passing game. I'm saying if Cook has 120, 140 yards running and passing and receiving, Minnesota has a shot. But Cook has to have that type of game.
Maybe it's a little bit of a homer thing, but we got Nicky Bosa, Nicky Bosa there with 3 or 4 other phenomenal, front four, back four, front four and middle. They have some really, really good defenders there. I don't think Cook's going to have a great day. He'll have a good day. It's not going to be a great day.
No, not against that defense.
You know, it's the other thing, San Francisco, most of these guys, this is their first playoff appearance. We know experience in the playoff is big.
That's true.
Tennessee is at Baltimore, and the Ravens are favored by 9.5. The over and under is 47. This line's a little bit out of control, too. I don't give Tennessee a shot in hell in winning this. I think Ryan will turn into the Ryan that I know really, really well. But we'll see if they can do it. But if anything, I got to take the Titans here. 9.5 is just way too much. I think they'll do enough with Derrick Henry to kind of keep it close. And I think Tennessee's defense is pretty good, too. So I would, if I have to go in this game, which I don't like it because of the spread, I'll take the points, 9.5.
So I'm on the other side of that. I like Baltimore. I think they're going to run away with it. I think that they run it up, and I've seen that. I was sitting. Now, I know it was the first game of the season. Nobody knew who was, it was the Dolphins and all, and they could have scored 100.
Yeah.
They chose to score 53 or whatever they scored, but they could have scored as much as you want. So I think they're a team that's, when they're scoring, they don't stop. They don't back off. So I like the Ravens. I think they're going to cover. I think, as Tannehill played average to below average last week, in my opinion.
He made the 2 throws he had to make.
Yeah, he had 2
the
or 3
touchdown
plays.
and the one to the tight end on third down. 2 excellent throws.
Give him average. And
it was all Henry in the defense.
Derrick
man.
Henry in the defense. Now I don't think the defense is going to be able to contain the Ravens.
Nobody can.
So I think that Baltimore's going to run away with it. I don't think it's going to be a 53 to something point game, but I tell you the truth, I think it's going to be. I think they're going to cover the 9.5. I like the over on this. I think the over on this could be a decent bet because I think Baltimore's going to score in the mid-30s. I really do. So that's my choice there.
You like this game at all, Bill?
I'm with you, man. If you got to bet it, I would probably take Tennessee just because I think that Henry can play keep away and not let Baltimore run up the score.
Yeah.
Okay? And
limit possessions.
I got to be honest with you. The Tennessee's defense, especially on that goal line stance, them linebackers, man, they got some decent linebackers on that team.
Vrabel, the head coach,
defensive line guys.
Knows what he's doing.
Tennessee is they got something going on there. Obviously, Tannehill is hamstrings them there a little bit, but Tennessee's moving in the right direction.
All right, Houston is at Kansas City. Kansas City is favored by 9.5. The over and under is 51. This is my favorite game of the weekend. I love the Texans plus 9.5. Deshaun Watson is as money as it gets. You're not beating him by 10 points. I'm sorry. He might beat you, actually. So I'm going Texans here. This is the game I love out of this matchup.
Yeah, I like Houston, too. I mean, 9.5 points is a lot of points to give to Houston.
Love this
If Houston
matchup.
shows up, they could win. They literally could win.
This is the only game that I love out of all 4 picks. This is the only game that I love.
Yeah, I think that's one that hits our pregame parlay.
Oh,
it could be your pick. If you,
I mean, if you guys don't want to pick it, that's my pick.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That to me seems to be.
Deshaun Watson is a dude that you just don't count guys like that out, man.
Now, the bigger the moment, the more that he's undermatched.
Every level he does it.
He shows up.
That play he did last
every
week.
time. Yeah.
It's one of the best plays you've seen in 20 years, man.
So this is the beauty of sports betting. So when we started this conversation, we were going to try a 3-game parlay. Let's throw away one of the 4 games, pick the 3 best. We could still play the parlay because that's our main bet, but we could bet this straight up too because all 3 of us feel the same way. Houston, get the 9.5.
I love it.
I mean, it's not a bad. It's not a bad second bet. So let's think about that before we make all bets. But next one.
All right, Seattle's at Green Bay. Packers are favored by 4.5. The over and under is 47. In this one, I got to tell you something. I like Seattle in this one. I think that they can do enough to make it interesting. Maybe even lose, but not by the 4.5 if they lose. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Seahawks win in Green Bay. The Packers are a team that, I know that they have their moments that their defense shows up, but Russell Wilson's a playmaker. I just think they can do enough to make it interesting.
I agree with you there. I'm not a big fan of the Packers. I'm not a big fan of the Seattle Seahawks either. But Russell Wilson, I am a fan of, and I think if he has a day, they're going to win. They're going to win this game. Even the way I look at it is their play calling is their OC is just average. I think Pete Carroll makes some mistakes during the game. I don't know. He's okay. He's a good coach, but he's not a great coach, and I think Russell makes the difference. He really does make the difference when he is on that field. And if he's on, man, he could really make some points. Score some points. So if I had to pick, I'm all about Seattle on this one. But
as Seattle, what Seattle has to do, believe it or not, is really control the running game of Green Bay.
Yeah. That running back scored a ton of touchdowns this year.
No, that running game is dangerous. If you limit that running game, then they will beat the Packers. If they allow Jones to run the ball and go crazy, they will lose that game. But I would imagine they're going to kind of control that because it's not really like Rodgers has the kind of offense that he can light you up.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have those kind of weapons. It's not that he's not that player. It's just he doesn't have the people around. It's just not the same. So the key will be limiting Jones. If you see Seattle limiting Jones, they win that game. Not just keep it inside the points. They win the game.
So let's
Green
figure our picks.
Green Bay to finish up the season was pedestrian. They were not anything. And that really
they're inconsistent.
That kind of happened ever since that San Francisco debacle when they got smoked. I mean, smoked. It was Aaron Rodgers' worst day as a player. I don't know. A week off, that's not really good for a team that's been inconsistent.
You think it'll rain over there? You think it'll rain over there?
Just a little bit.
At the fairgrounds. Well, Louisiana. Never really rains there.
No.
but the holy mackerel! I went to the music festival there. What a great festival. Once again, it was pouring rain. It was like Woodstock. I was like 55 years old, walking around with my wife, saying, "Are we nuts? This is insane." Yeah, there's some great entertainers. Pitbull was up there, and Lady Gaga. There was all kinds of great. But we were soaking wet. It was horrible.
Hey, Lady Gaga, man, that's good.
Anyhow, what about our picks here? So,
all right,
I guess, Big O, you're all about Houston.
If you guys don't want it, I'll take it. I love the Houston pick, man. Plus 9.5. Give it to me, man. It's my favorite bet of this thing. That'll be one for our parlay if you want to.
I got to tell you, so I'm between San Francisco or Baltimore. I think I want one of these two. If anybody else, Billy, you like either of these games? Because I really think that. I think Baltimore's going to.
Can I be really honest? Can I be really honest?
No, lie to us.
NorCal, who assists us with our Dolphin president, he's like the Dolphin national president of all the Dolphin fan clubs. The money line, picking 4 because the lines are so high and so tough. Yeah, to eliminate the spread and go money line, that's the way to bet.
Don't. Yeah, but that breaks away from. We got to hit a parlay one of these days.
I know, but what I'm saying is, if you out there in Radio Land are making a bet, stay away from these spreads. Don't try to do what we're going to do.
All right.
Go with the money line.
All right. So what do you guys want? Houston plus 9.5. What else?
What do you want, Billy?
If I had to pick one, man, that was the one. That's the one I would have taken. But I guess. San Francisco, what is it, 9.5?
7.
God, 6.5 would be totally different. San Fran. I'll take San at home. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take Baltimore. I'm going to have the kid from Boynton Beach. He's going to score about 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Okay.
I kind of tell you, the over is interesting on this one. The over is a little bit interesting.
For Tennessee and Baltimore?
Yeah.
I like that. I like
47,
the over.
It's
I like the over. I'm with you. I don't like – you like the over on Minnesota and San Fran, right? Is that what you said also?
Yeah.
I don't like that one as much, but I'm with you on the Tennessee.
So what do you like? Big O, let's
switch that. Let me have the over. I'll take the over. You're gonna go. Yeah.
All right. So Billy's gonna have the over on the Ravens
That's a way
Tennessee
better
game. I'll take the Ravens, and you take the Texans.
Yes.
Right? So there's our parlay.
Okay.
And as a side bet, we'll make a regular money line bet on Houston.
Okay.
We're picking our one best game. I think it's a good idea to give the listeners one good game that everybody likes on this panel.
Well, not on the
Love
money. It's Houston with the points, right?
Yeah, well, Houston
Right.
with the points. Yeah,
Yeah.
Straight bet. I'm sorry.
Straight bet, right? Yeah.
Listen,
That's
now that
9.5.
we picked these, I want to talk a little about, just a couple of minutes, about the New England-Tennessee game and the move that Vrabel did.
Oh, wasting about a minute and 40.
What
whatever.
a spec! If
was-
you were to write a movie script,
That's why he worked for Belichick. He learned.
but the actual opportunity,
To use it
presented
against
itself.
him, yeah.
It actually presented itself in the playoffs. It was near perfect in terms of the amount of time that was available, and he did exactly the same thing. It was
Belichick lost to 2 students the last 2 weeks to end the season.
He'd like to lose
Look at
his
that.
mind on
He
that.
lost to Flores and Vrabel.
yeah,
But
the
he'd
last
like
2
to,
games.
He'd like to lose his mind, man, when Vrabel did that to him.
I know,
he
but-
was
but
so
you know what, though? I'm
furious.
glad
Because
you
he's
said
the
that.
only one that does that.
Right, exactly.
I'm glad you said that. I think Belichick's probably one of the best coaches ever has coached NFL. Okay, I'm a fan of his. I think all positives. However, I'm going to say something that what I felt when I'm watching that. I'm saying, wait a second. To me, it seemed like you were a little arrogant when you did it to
Right.
the Jets in Week 7.
Right.
Now, I did a little research. I don't think it was arrogance. What I found was there's a long-running 20-year history of bad blood between the Jets organization and Bill Belichick.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So I
'Cause
guess
the
that was
the napkin thing.
the napkin. I'm only gonna be a coach for a day, and blah blah blah, and Parcells, and the whole mess. So I thought at first it was Belichick being arrogant in Week 7, or actually being arrogant this past week and saying only I could do it, and I did it in Week 7. But really, that was like an old feud.
Or he was just working the refs to see if he can get something, even though he knows it wasn't going to work. And
Yeah,
you know what I
could've been.
mean? Because that's what they do. Just like the players selling a penalty, and he knows there wasn't a penalty, but
Block
he's
the
trying
kick
to
and
sell
block-
it. And
yeah,
I
the
got a
kickers.
different
and
angle.
see, or you flop because you try to draw
Roughing
something.
the
you know?
kicker, right?
Cheaters are okay with cheating until they get cheated against. Then they
Oh,
don't like it.
whoa,
So
whoa, whoa, whoa,
you know,
that was
that's
not
the rule,
cheating.
though. It's
no,
the rule.
That
but
was
I'm
not cheating.
But I'm just saying, the kind of mentality this guy has as a cheater, it's I can do it, but you can't.
No,
when
I
you do
think-
it to me, this is unacceptable.
But I think really what happened, Billy, is I thought it was arrogance. I thought it was only he could do it. But really, it's the feud. It's the Jets and Belichick feud that's been going on since
Right.
the napkin.
Yeah.
And
it's
probably started before the napkin.
and
a
it's a
little.
divisional thing and all that other stuff. And so, yeah.
Yeah, so that was an interesting to watch. That was very enjoyable to watch, though. As a fan, I thought it was literally spectacular.
Vrabel is the one apple that's fallen from that tree that looks like, okay, a good coach fell out of it. We'll find out now if Flores is
There
the
could be
next
2
one.
apples. There could be 2.
Could be at what? Maybe the guy for the Giants now. I don't know. We'll see down the line. We'll find out all this stuff.
You know, it
the guy
is-
from the Giants, in the press conference, he knocked it out of the freaking park.
He did,
He
and he
said-
must have done good in the interview process because they didn't even bring in Josh McDaniels, and they
But
kind of
did you watch him in that press conference?
I did not. I did not.
Oh, you go watch that press
I
conference.
will. I will.
When you watch that press conference, you'll go, you could tell that behind the scenes he must have been a monster.
Well-
Like they must have fallen in love with him right away, right? Because watching him in the press conference, and again, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, it doesn't mean you're going to be successful, but he handled it everything the right way and said all the right things. And we start to critique you right from the get-go, and there are plenty of people that have not handled things the right way.
So his
right
eyes
from the
weren't
get-go.
popping out.
No,
His eyes were not popping.
Yes.
Okay, I have to. I'm going to watch it on the YouTube. I definitely will watch it. But there are some media folks really jumping down the Giants organization. I've seen some media
what?
folks saying, "Is Joe Judge the best you can do?" That was
Well-
a handful of media guys. Now
but that's an easy hot take
it
because
seems like
because
it's
it's a special teams coach.
I guess
but
it's
Cowher
it
was.
just
Cowher was.
And so's John Harbaugh.
yeah. Harbaugh's a special teams guy too.
John
so-
Harbaugh is a special. By the way, Bill Cowher is a special teams coach.
Yeah, Cowher.
Don Shula is a special teams coach.
See, I think the media
He was a
jumping.
secondary and a special teams coach.
You know, what was one thing that little caveat that they oh, he worked under Saban. Like, he's got Belichick and Saban in him, and it's like,
See, I
that
think-
doesn't mean that it translates.
No, but it does mean that you were around people that
Winner,
know what the
yeah.
hell they're doing.
Yes.
So maybe it rubbed
You
off
at least
on
know
you.
how to run a practice, set your team up for game day.
I get.
Yeah.
Listen, I saw the press conference. You got to give people credit when they deserve it. The dude handled everything the right way. He may be a terrible coach when it's all said and done.
Well, we'll see.
Might be the
What,
best BSer
presentation?
out there.
He's got presentation down.
He has, yes, no, but Bill, that's important,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it's
yeah.
important
Yes.
to have presence. He had presence
Well, look, as a fan,
yesterday.
as a
That's
fan,
all I say.
I'll give you my little
I
personal
don't
take.
care about the Giants.
My personal take on
Dude
it
had
is
presence.
I grew up a Giant fan, so now we have Joe Judge, and I'm going to believe in him. I'm going to believe in him. And I'm a converted Dolphins fan, and we got Flores. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. As a fan, I feel pretty good about those two organizational changes. So that's a real positive. It's just
Well,
the media right now.
Well, dude, you have to be happy as a Giants fan because anything is better than Pat Shermer.
Yeah, that was pretty easy. Yeah,
Yeah, it was easy.
I
It
think
was
anybody
easy
on this
to
page, we
approve.
could have done better on this table than Pat
It was
Shermer.
easy
Pat
to
Shermer,
approve.
you put your finger here and you would have never gotten a pulse.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, dude. That guy was a dead fish.
Yeah.
There was no way he was ever going to be a motivator of men in a locker room. There's no freaking way when you watch that guy. Presence.
Yeah.
None.
Zero. It's just
None. This guy yesterday, he had it, bro. He had it.
Well, we'll see.
I give him that at least.
I'm feeling good about it then. I'm feeling real positive
They
about
said
it.
he did, like, the interview, like, the greatest, most unbelievable interview they'd ever had.
Well,
Yeah, it's hard
Ever.
to believe that they didn't bring in Josh McDaniels. That's hard to
I'm
believe.
not a McDaniels guy, you know
I
that?
know, but at least interviewed a guy.
The
And
way
they-
he flaked out in Denver and then backed out in the
He picked
Indy
Tim
job.
Tebow. He was a Tim Tebow pick. He
Yeah,
was a Tim Tebow pick.
and right, and then he flamed out on the Colts when they wanted him. I just there's
He's
some-
wishy-washy.
There's something smarmy about him.
So what do you think
Okay,
about?
I know that's not a word that youngins use nowadays.
Youngins.
Smarmy. But us old farts, we still use smarmy, and that's what Josh McDaniels rubs me as.
So I get what I understand what you're saying. I've never used smarmy, but I understand what you're saying. And I'm an old folk, but it's smarmy is probably a good description. But I'm going to change directions. What do you think about Matt Rule? Now Tepper. So
I don't know.
Tepper's.
So
let me give you some background. Tepper is the new owner. The last year and a half, 2 years of the Carolina Panthers. Tepper was at one point he lived in New Jersey. Tepper was the largest state income taxpayer to the state of New Jersey. That's how much money this guy's got. When he decided to move, the New Jersey State Treasury had to have a meeting to figure out how they're going to make up that income that they got from Tepper's income tax. That's how much money this guy's got. That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, Tepper said, I don't know Tepper. I respect the guy. He's very successful. But Tepper said, I'm going to pick, when he got rid of Rivera, he said, I'm going to pick the greatest coach in the world and blah, blah, blah. And he picked Matt Rule. Now, I don't know. Matt Rule has two great I thought no one would ever turn around Temple. Rule turned him around, He's done the same thing at Purdue, which is a much tougher
Baylor,
turnaround. At Baylor, which is a much tougher turnaround because the competition is a little stiffer. So he could do it at Carolina. But $10 million a year? It's a $60 million contract.
Thank John Gruden, bro.
Yeah,
So
but John
he
Gruden
created
has
the
a Super-
market.
he's got experience. He's got a Super Bowl. He's played, he's a different
That's where
world.
that's where Tepper and everybody else is going. You effing Raiders, you idiots.
Well,
you blew up the damn market with that contract.
Well, I always thought the coaches should get paid more. It seems like they went from making $1 million a year to $10 million a year. There was no in between. And now, to make it even weirder, Rule was making $4 million at Baylor. So it's not like he was,
That ain't chump change.
He didn't walk into Carolina with a
pay
cup
well.
in his hand, right?
No, college pays better than the NFL in a lot of cases.
But his deal is $60 million over 7 years with an extra $10 million of incentives. So he could make $70 million, $10 million a year. And you know what? I'm rooting for him in the sense that he is a Jersey guy, so I'm rooting for him. But that's a lot of money. It changes the complexion of what coaches are now paid. It seems like, so now what does the assistant coach get?
And by the way, you're forgetting one thing to mention.
What's that?
Guaranteed.
Oh yeah, it's all guaranteed. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you added that because it's all guaranteed. This guy's never coached. He's head coach.
That's why.
in the NFL once. One game. Not
That's
one
why.
minute.
That's the part that does he make that transition? How does he handle men and young men? That's because it's different when you're handling a guy that has that needs that check for his 4 girlfriends, 4 houses, and 8 cars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those kind of men are different than the kid that's thinking about the kegger he's going to in the weekend.
I heard
some frat party or something. That's what is on his mind, or the next next CD he's downloading or something. You know what I mean? That's what's on his mind.
Anytime new person and you start comparing, when you mentioned being Chuck Noll, and this is going to be 30 years and all that, I don't know where that guy's head's at, but straight up, that was incorrect. Like this guy's going to be the next Chuck Noll. That's a lot to put on his plate. That's a lot.
I think the pressure was first applied when you say I'm going to pay him $70 million. So anything after that, it's just piling on.
It's new owner trying to make his own splash, his own buzz, and
supposedly originates from Pittsburgh, and he was a Pittsburgh fan and this and that.
Well, he was he was a part owner of the Steelers,
and it just you're Chuck Noll. You're talking about some
we'll see.
Air.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see because look, I think
because he had minority, right? Didn't he have minority in the Steelers, Tepper? Wasn't it something like that?
I don't know that. I thought he was just associated with a team some way.
Okay.
Associated with a team and probably knew that,
I thought he had like a minority stake that he sold.
Maybe the Rooney sold off a couple small to some big Wall. He was a big Wall Street guy, Tepper. So, hedge fund guy and made ridiculous amounts of money. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think the first year, I don't think it's going to be good. It's because they're all disheveled there in Carolina. I mean, they got a good running back. But their quarterback situation is unanswered.
Well, he didn't commit to him.
No.
The defense is getting a little older and not what it was the previous years.
He didn't commit to Cam at all. When he was talking about it, he was talking about it like evaluating everybody, which tells me he's not going to commit to Cam.
What I got out of that was Cam's not going to be the guy.
Of course
he
not.
may be the guy for a year because we don't have anybody yet, but he's not the guy.
No.
That's going to be associated
right
with that
away.
team.
He would have said it right away. That if he was in love with him, and he was the guy, he would have said it. Oh, one of the reasons why I took the job was Cam Newton. Didn't say that.
So back to Joe Judge. The one thing, as a fan, it's a little bit selfish here. At least the Giant organization did not get Jason Garrett. Thank the Lord. That would have made me be as sad as it could be in terms of that would have been from below average to average.
It reminds you of the Jets taking Gase. After the Dolphins fire him, you take the same guy that failed in your division. Didn't you watch it? Why would you do that? That would make no sense.
I've been saying,
and you should be laughed at and criticized if you did it, just like I laughed and criticized the Jets when they did it. You know what I mean? And I know people were trying to spin it and all that. I'm like, no, dude, I watched it. The guy's not good. I get it. The Dolphins are a disaster. They've been a disaster for a long time, but that guy is not the guy.
Yeah, he's not the answer. I've said that at least for the last 6 weeks. And the other thing too about, Gase is an interesting situation. He's not only is he really have any performance numbers on the field, in terms of coaching ability, but his connection to the fan and to the media is actually worse than his performance on the field.
Yes.
This is a business.
He alienates
There's more to
everybody.
it than just, you got to win, but you got to also interact with the media. You got to interact with the fans.
He's a divisive person.
He's a very odd bird. He's an odd bird.
He's a divisive person.
Yeah. Yes, he's divisive. That'd be a good way of putting it. Divisive. I think odd. I mean,
the second he got to the Dolphins, he was benching people and keeping them at home and all that. And he was already at odds with people, and he was at odds with players throughout his tenure here. He got there, and right away he was at odds with people. Didn't want Le'Veon Bell. Undermined his GM right away.
Fired the GM, right? The GM got fired
so he could get his guy in there, Joe Douglas.
Which is probably a guy that's just going to say yes to him all the time,
right?
So that's not
he got you the job.
Not good for the organization.
No, of course not.
The guy that was on the IR, and Gase was questioning him, and it's like, I'm going to my own doctor, man.
Osmelli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, Jason Garrett, when I heard 3-4 weeks ago the first inkling that, the Giants might, it's like he's been in the backyard. He's in the same division. We've watched this guy for 10 years. Why in the hell would the Giants want that guy? Are you
so
kidding
thank God
me?
they found Judge.
Serious.
Thank God. Now, there is something else about the New York hiring of Joe Judge. It's really cool media, especially print media, because now there's 2 judges in New York. We got Joe Judge and Aaron Judge.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So we got, so it's the two. I think the media is going to have some fun with that.
The Post is going to have fun with that.
Well, they're the media.
I know, but but specifically
they're
the Post.
the media that I read on the airplane when I go to the airport and buy that Post.
Those are the headlines, bro.
I want to tell you this. People don't get the newspaper anymore. It's all online and all.
Right.
But I was a guy that got the newspaper twice a day, every day.
My parents still get the Herald every day.
But I'll tell you what I do, and I recommend it to your listeners and to yourself. When you're getting on an airplane, go get yourself, a New York Post or a Daily News or something.
I always do.
Right, and it's a treat on the airport on the airplane when you're flying. It's just like, and people look at you like, you get the newspaper? I said, no, it's just a little treat I give myself every time I'm on an airplane.
Right,
the New York Post, the headlines are usually great, and there's been hundreds of great headlines. So just want that little tidbit for your listeners.
Love it. All right, Steve. We'll see you on Sunday. We'll rock and roll. Hopefully, we'll pick some winners, and we'll have a good time out here at the National Horse Players Championship.
All right, guys, and next week I'll see you also. We'll see if we won this one.
Yes.
We're going to do that side bet.
Now we're back in the poker room next week.
Next week we're in the poker room, yeah. And then eventually after that, I think a week or 2 after that, we're going to put you down on the casino floor.
Oh,
right in the middle of the slot
wait a minute.
machines.
Isn't that next, actually?
It's either next week or the following.
Okay, good.
I think we have to.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, right in the middle of all those slot machines that are the highest paying
Bling,
slot
bling,
machines.
bling, bling.
I did a season at the Flamingo Bar for the Dolphins postgame show when I was at 640. I did the Dolphins postgame show there, and it was always good.
Keep in mind that where we're going to put you, you're going to be about 10 feet from the high limit slot area.
Nice.
It's just on the other side of the wall. And last week we paid out a $76,000 jackpot.
What?
In the same day, we had a $25,000 jackpot and a 14. So believe me, you might get an urge when you're down there. So we're trying to pile up our winnings in this sports betting and then go down there and take a shot.
Steve, you guys are the number 1 rated in the state of Florida payout.
Number 1 in
slots.
payouts. Number 1 in
That's
payouts.
awesome,
You go on the
man.
state website. We got the best return to player.
It's a beautiful.
That's
All right,
awesome,
guys,
brother.
We'll see you this Sunday and
See
see you
you
next
Sunday.
Friday.
You got it. Sunday, my brother.
All right, thank you.
All right, baby.
Thank you,
be
Steve.
good. The great Steve Calabro joining us here on the program. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back on the other side, we are going to have Ryan Keeling from the Valley Fanatics in Virginia. He's the president of the Valley Fanatics in Virginia. Back with more right here on The Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O.
Plus tax tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, we are ready to rock and roll. Final segment of the show. Yes, Ryan Keeling is going to join us now. You know what we do every Friday here on the show. We go around the world and we talk to a different Dolphin president. Yes, and this week we are talking to Ryan Keeling from the Valley Fanatics in Virginia. He's kind enough to join us now on the show. The man that I hear has not shaved and will not shave that beard until the Dolphins win a Super Bowl. Is that correct, Ryan?
That is 100% correct.
All right, so how long is that beard currently?
Well, I'm looking at about 4 or 5 inches in length right now.
Okay, all right. So you really don't
I started it on the draft day.
Okay, oh, so you started on draft. Okay, I like it. All right, so soon, by next year, you should be ready to join ZZ Top?
I'm hoping not.
Okay, all right. I'm not sure. You you might have that.
He wants to go the other way.
I get it. I get it. But in a year, I don't know if we're going to a Super Bowl next year. Maybe in 2 years I can see us in a Super Bowl, but not next year. But that's why it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So Ryan, how did that come about? Why did you say, all right, that's it, I'm not shaving until we have a Super Bowl? What's the deal there?
No, I don't know. Something just went off in my head one day that I just had to do something bold, and that was what I came up with.
Okay, all right. So it wasn't a challenge by any of your buddies. It wasn't like some stinking Jet fan that's a buddy of yours that put on the challenge or nothing like that. This was just all you.
No, this was all me. And for the record, I don't befriend Jet fans.
Oh, nice. Okay, all right. I like that. All right, so tell us a little bit about the Valley Fanatics in Virginia, my brother. That I love the name, Valley Fanatics. What's up?
Yeah, well, we're based in Winchester, Virginia, and the name comes from the fact that Winchester is pretty much in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley. We started in 2005. Angel Ortiz, David Morales, and Dean Thomas started the club back then as just sort of way for some local Dolphins fans to get together and watch games with allies. And Angel and David are still with us here. Dean went off to Ireland and started the Belfast Fanatics in Ireland. And since then, at Buffalo Wild Wings, we sort of steered away from that, got a more friendly environment for us, and found a nice club or a nice bar and restaurant in Winchester that'll house us. And we got anywhere between 20 and 40 every week, pretty much.
Okay, wow, 20 and 40. All right, now how many people are part of the Fanatics fan club? The what is it again? The Valley Fanatics fan club.
I'd say we've got between 15 and 30 strong active members.
Okay, all right.
And then another like 10 or 15 sort of like rotating that come hang out with us on a weekly basis.
How did it start? When did you guys start it?
Back in 2005.
Okay, 2005. Now, do you guys travel?
We do try and travel a little bit. We've got a couple of guys. One of our guys actually has season tickets for the Dolphins, and he makes it to most of the home games. Has someone tag along with him on those usually. And then anytime Dolphins come to the area, we like to work with some of the other area clubs, like the guys in Nova guys up in Lancaster and Pennsylvania, and York, Pennsylvania, to go do like the Pittsburgh games and the Baltimore games, the Washington games. And we do have people that make it up to the MetLife Takeover every year as well.
Wow, that's cool. Are you going to go out to Vegas and join us for the draft?
We've got people that are definitely going out from our club, and I myself am trying to make it financially work.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to tell me the beard's getting in the way.
No, the beard cannot get in the way. The beard is life.
Hey, by the way, is this your first time growing a beard?
No, I've off and on had a beard, but this is definitely the longest I've ever let it get.
Okay, all right. Now, are you married?
I am.
So, dude, how's the wife handling all of this?
As long as I keep the mustache trimmed out of my mouth, she's good.
Oh, for the kissing. I got you now. Okay. So
yeah.
So negatives of having a big ass beard. How's the deal with food and smells and things like that? Walk us through having a thicker beard. What's the challenge?
I mean, the biggest challenge is making it not look wild. Yeah, it likes to go every which way it wants to. So I have to use extra soap and shampoo and conditioners and stuff to keep it in check, and that adds shower time. And I don't. It adds too much shower time for it.
So, dude,
that's the biggest obstacle.
So, are you putting like conditioner on this thing too?
Yeah. Gotta keep it nice and silky smooth.
Does it really work? Because I know
it does.
Really?
It does.
Okay. All right. That's
and it gets better the more consecutive days you put the conditioner in it.
That is awesome, dude. That is fantastic. Ryan Keeling joining us, the president of the Valley Fanatics in Virginia. All right, so Ryan, how did you become a Doll fan, my brother? What year was it? What moment? What game do you remember?
I was born this way,
So wait, what? The old man just put Dolphin stuff on you, and before you knew it, that's it? You just grew up that way? Is that what it was?
Yeah, pretty much. My dad grew up in Hollywood.
Okay.
And he pretty much just raised me this way.
Okay. Now wait a minute. In Virginia,
I'd say,
like you've been in Virginia. Okay, so walk us through that. Yeah. Where were you? Where did you grow up?
I've been in Virginia now since '96. I actually live in West Virginia now. But I've been in this Virginia, D.C. area since about '96.
Okay.
And then prior to that, I was in down southern Mississippi, down in Favre country.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But yeah, my dad grew up in Florida there, and we spent some good time there as a kid. And then we went overseas for his work, and that was when I really started to get involved, just because it was Monday after I was getting out of school when I was able to get the results from the games. And my dad had the ability to listen on the radio at his work during the day on Mondays. So I was able to, he was always excited to come home and tell me how the games went. And that's pretty much when I really started getting involved. So that was around like 94-ish.
Wow.
When I really started getting into it.
Okay, so towards the end of Marino's run.
Yeah, now we watched the games a lot as a kid, but that was when I really started getting involved as far as getting into the statistics behind everything and really starting to understand the game of football.
All right, so then what made you create the fan club?
Well, yeah, like I said, a couple of guys, Angel, David, and Dean, just wanted to have a friendly place for Dolphins fans to watch the game together and have a friendly group of Dolphins fans.
Okay.
So they knew each other. They started getting out, and I met Angel through a mixed martial arts connection. And then we just sort of started spreading the word. Every time we saw a Dolphins fan, somebody wearing a hat, somebody with a bumper sticker or anything, we got like business cards made up. We got slap business cards on windshield wipers, strike up conversations at the aisle, at the grocery store, whatever we could to start getting people to come out and hang out with us.
So you're what, like in Redskins country? Is that what it is? Ravens? what's the normal?
Man, it's a real interesting blend. So if you turn the radio on and turn the TV on, it's Redskins country.
Okay.
But if you look around, it's a lot of Steelers fans and a decent amount of Ravens fans as well.
Okay, well, I get it now. I mean, why the hell would you like Redskins if you're in that area? The Ravens are 1,000 times better a franchise than the Redskins. The Redskins are a freaking disaster. I mean, hell, people are dumping the Redskins. The stuff that's going on with Washington is things that I would have never imagined as a kid, that people are going to stay away from Redskins games, and those games aren't sold out. I mean, that's crazy, dude, what's gone on with the Skins.
I'll tell you, living in this Skins territory, it makes it hurt less what goes on with the Dolphins in the negative, because all I have to do is look at what the Redskins are doing and know that, hey, we're not that bad.
No, you're right. You're right about that. So are you feeling Flores? What'd you think after year one?
I don't know. I'm still skeptical. I definitely like what I've seen so far, but it's that whole Belichick coaching tree. I don't have the confidence that he's going to break that mold just yet.
Wait a minute, Vrabel's been pretty good, dude. He's done a good job with
But Vrabel was a player. Vrabel wasn't a coach.
No, yes he was. No. Vrabel moved on to a coach. He was a coach for. Can you look it up, Bill? I want to say he was a coach for 3 or 4 years at least with the Patriots, my man. Yes, Mike Vrabel was a coach.
Was he?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. All right.
We'll look it up for you.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, no, man. Yeah, he definitely coached for
but still,
a few
that's
years.
one.
Well,
that's one.
It's got to start somewhere. It's got to start somewhere, you know what I'm saying? At least.
Well, yeah, and maybe we've started. He's still only in, year 2, year 3 with Tennessee?
Yeah.
So the verdict is still definitely out with him, even though he's looking promising as well.
Wait a
but
minute.
There's just
wait a minute, dude. No, you're right. He didn't. He coached with Houston. It wasn't with New England. He's been an Ohio State coach in 11, a defensive line coach from 12 and 13 at Ohio State, then a Houston's linebacker coach from 14 to 16, then a defensive coordinator for the Texans in 17, and then he's been the Titans head coach. He was a player, not coach. You are correct, sir. I stand corrected.
Look at that. You were making me a liar.
Yeah, how about that, huh? Look at that. How dare I? It's crazy. Also, you're right. Maybe Flores is the first good apple that falls from that tree. You know,
and that's a maybe still. We're still not sure on that, and I'm still gonna be very cautious with watching this.
All right. So, what was your assessment of him this year?
I mean, there were some obvious mistakes early on. I did not like the fact that he fired the offensive line coach before we even made it out of the preseason process to hire somebody else. That sort of was a red flag that he made that wrong of a hiring decision right out the bat.
Well,
but it was good that he identified it quickly enough and did away with it.
That's where I would lean to more than anything else, because remember, he's a rookie head coach. He's never done this. He doesn't have deep connections. He's only been in one franchise forever. So he's not going to have an incredible pool like most young coaches. They don't have incredible pools to go out and get assistant coaches. So it's very normal to make mistakes, especially in your first staff. What I love is he didn't stick with the mistake. He cut it right away, just like Chad O'Shea. If he doesn't think it's right, he cut him right away too. And I'd rather you eliminate the problem than actually keep it around and try and assess it or fix it.
But was the fix for it actually a fix? Because the offensive line play still wasn't that good this year.
No, I know. I get it, but that's probably because he's a young guy as a coach, and he doesn't have a lot of connections. So now he's got to try to find that guy that's better. And I think by winning 5 games with no talent, I think he might be able to recruit somebody that's better, because now people might buy that he's going to be around for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I definitely started to buy in a little bit more with him as I saw this team of nobodies playing really hard and getting those wins at the end of the season. But all I ever think about anymore is that first season with Tony Sparano and that first season with Adam Gase, that first season with Nick Saban, and nothing happened thereafter. So was this a growth? Was this showing growth to move forward, or was this the top of the mountain like with those guys?
Yeah, no, you're right. That's that. I think. Listen, time's going to answer it all. I'm with you to a certain extent. I need to see one more season, but I loved what I saw from him this year. Overall, to go 5-4 in your last 9 games, to get as much as he did out of the guys, and especially that roster that they were basically streaming players from everybody else's practice squads from week in and week out. I was impressed overall with the body of work and the way he adjusted to probably the worst situation he'll ever be in as a head coach.
No, I agree with that, and and like I said, I was impressed by the end of the season. I'm just still going to sit here being a little skeptical just because I don't trust all these guys coming out of New England. None of them seem to have done anything. But I think what's more important going forward is what Chris Grier is going to be able to do with this offseason.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. Well, that's everything, my brother. Chris Grier, what's it called? Marvin Allen, Reggie McKenzie, that trifecta. It's up to them now to start hitting home runs with all those draft picks. Hey, Ryan, before we let you go, tell folks how they can check out Valley Fanatics and how they can actually join you guys if they want to.
All right. Well, you can check us out on our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Valley Fanatics, and that's Fanatics spelled with an F-I-N. And we meet every Sunday during the football season at Backseat Bar and Grill in Winchester, Virginia.
There you go. And any Twitter handles out there for the Fanatics?
No, I don't do Twitter, Instagram, or any of that stuff. It's all Facebook for me.
All right, it's a beautiful thing. Ryan, thank you for taking some time, my brother. Really appreciate it. Hope to see you and that beard out in Vegas, my man.
I hope to as well.
You got it, baby. You be good, Ryan. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Take it easy, yo.
You got it, baby. There you go. Ryan Keeling, man, looks like a cool dude. I'd like to meet him out there in Vegas. Have a little fun. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you guys out there in Vegas. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. We're going to have an absolute blast, I got to tell you. And some of the stuff that's developed in the last 48 hours for us also is really exciting for us. So it's just this is a really good time, and it's really fun to watch all of this grow slowly but surely. We thank all of you, of course, for tuning in and always supporting us and downloading all the shows. We appreciate it immensely. Ooh, wait a minute. You know what? I have not given my picks before I go anywhere. Let's go with the picks. We had a terrible night last night in the NBA. I think, what was it? I want to say we might have gone like 1-3 or something like that. I got to look it up now, but it was bad. It was really bad yesterday in the NBA for us. Let's go with our picks today. We need to bounce back in a big-time way. Washington and Atlanta. Let's go quickly here. It is picking right now. We got an even game. It is 238.5, the over and under for that one between Atlanta and Washington. Wizards, they can score some points, man. Atlanta is one of those teams that you have no idea what you're getting, but usually it's pretty bad. I'm going to go with Washington outscoring Atlanta today. Two terrible teams, but one is better than the other offensively. We'll go with Washington. The Miami Heat are favored by 3.5 in Brooklyn. I rode the wave the other day. I took the Heat +1. I'm taking the Heat -3.5 today against Brooklyn. I think they will handle the Nets and win by 7, maybe 10 points comfortably in this one. San Antonio is at Memphis. The game is even. It's picking. The over and under is 231. Guess what, folks? I'm going to go under 231 in this game between San Antonio and Memphis. New Orleans favored by 4.5 against the Knicks in New York. The over and under is 227.5. I am staying away from this game. I don't get the consistency I need from New Orleans in order to give 4.5 points on the road, but they easily could beat the schizophrenic Knicks. which the Knicks normally suck, but there are times as of late, since they fired their coach, that they actually start putting the ball in the basket, so I can't trust him. Indiana lost to Miami 2 nights ago. They are favored by 3. The over and under is 213.5 against the Chicago Bulls. Bulls, again, they're a team that is not good, but they have their moments where they kind of play decent basketball, and Indiana has been really good this year. Losing the other night, I think they want to bounce back. I'm going to take a chance here. Slight lean, but I do like this bet. Not as much as I, let's say, like Washington against Atlanta or even Miami 3.5 against Brooklyn. But I do like Indiana laying the 3 at Chicago. I think they will pull it off today and barely win by that number, 4-5, but they'll win. Lakers at Dallas. Dallas favored by 2. Over and under is 223.5. I'm going to stay away from this game. The other day, Dallas did not show up in this game. I don't know why. Can't put my finger on it. I'm going to stay away from this one. And I know Anthony Davis is banged up in this one, but Dallas favored by 2. The over and under 223.5. That's one that you could have a little fun with. But again, it's too borderline for me. This game can go either way. Staying away from it. Utah favored by 12 against Charlotte at home. Charlotte is a terrible team. Utah is pretty good, but they have a tendency of sometimes not showing up against some of these teams. I'm going to stay away from the 12, but I'm going to go over 210.5 in this one, Charlotte and Utah. Orlando at Phoenix. Phoenix favored by 3. Over and under is 217.5. Can't touch this game. Not doing anything with it. Orlando, actually, if I had to do anything, I would probably take the 3 points, but I'm just going to stay away from this one. Milwaukee, minus 8.5 at Sacramento. Over and under is 224.5. Sacramento is one of those teams, again, kind of schizophrenic. They're home. They have their moments where they actually play pretty well. I'm going to stay away from this one. Golden State is at the Clippers. Clippers are favored by 15 points against Golden State. It's just a lot of points. I think the Clippers can get bored at the back end of this game. Very, very dangerous. Going with Washington over Atlanta, picking straight up. Going with Miami, minus 3.5 at Brooklyn. Going with the under 231 between San Antonio and Memphis. Going with Indiana, minus 3 at Chicago. And going with the over 210.5, Charlotte at Utah. I'm expecting Utah to score about 120 points in that game.
I loved your comment on the Knicks. Every once in a while, the ball finds the hoop and they make a basket. That's so awesome.
Once in a while.
Once in a great while.
Once in a while. But more often than not, they'll screw you over. So
they're the Knicks.
That's a good point.
Do I need to say anything else?
No.
Thank you.
They are the Knicks. You're right about that. All right, we are done. We thank, of course, Bill, John Cassio, NorCal, of course, as always.
Yes. NorCal is the man.
Gotta always thank NorCal. We thank all of you that tuned in and supported us and downloaded the program. We love you for downloading the show.
You guys are awesome. Thank
You're
you for
amazing.
your support.
You are absolutely amazing.
Dude, in case you were unaware, you're amazing, bro.
I don't know about that, but we try to survive every day of our lives. That's all we can do, baby. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll give you a little bit of a podcast, and on Sunday too. But Monday, man, we are at the East-West Shrine Game.
How are you going to do a podcast on Sunday? We got to be here, and you're going to do it before
I can
you
do one
leave
in
the
the
house?
morning.
You're going to do it early?
Yeah, I can do one in the morning.
You're a hell of a guy. Do you know that?
We can do one. We'll try to squeeze
that's right.
one in.
We got games. We got 2 great games on Saturday, 2 great games on Sunday, and of course the championship on Monday. Man, you're a football fan. This is heaven.
That's right.
It's better. It's better than next week because next week we only have 2 pro games. This week we have 4. This is the week I like.
Yes, and next weekend will be the
start of the
conference,
end.
The conference championship.
You know what I mean?
game.
It's the start of the end.
Basically.
Yeah. It's hard on us football fans.
All right, folks, you guys be good out there. Much love as always. We thank, of course, the Brunetti family, Frank Fiore, Steve Calabro, all the amazing people out here at Hialeah Park making it nice and easy for us. Every Friday to broadcast, please join us out here. Fridays, 1 to 4, plunge your guts out. Be good.
Y'all have a good weekend.